with Luna. So Luna, there's a day among one of the many days during this downtime where she is at the Sorcerer's Encapsulate, getting to know the place, being the various types of people that come in and out that are just travelers and members of the guild, and some guild members that are more that frequent the establishment more than many others.
Doing
Um,
her best trying to mingle, but it's not going so well.
um, they the atmosphere there is, extremely very non-judgmental, as there's all sorts of eccentric mages here, and it's not just uh wizards and sorcerers. The guild is open to various sorts of spellcasters, but it is the majority of them. Um, you you are uh where is it? As you're walking about, you get bumped into by um by from what you recall, her name was Elani, and fucking caps lock. And she's the one that's been said to, like, people like she's like extremely hyperactive. Um
The complete opposite.
extremely hyperactive. Uh Extrovert for sure. She um little loopy, and it's because some people think that she's been studying and practicing ways of using wild magic a bit too much, that it's affected her in some way. Um but she like accidentally bumps into you as she's like rushing along. She's like, "Whoa, Buddha!" As she waves like frantically. She's like,
Did I
"Oh,
did I bump into you?
it's like, uh, maybe not. Uh, it doesn't matter. What does matter is oh, where did I see him? There's a guy here, not hard to miss. He's not entirely human. He's he might be fey touched,
Mm,
but you might be interested in him. I saw him, was talking to him for a bit. Although he seemed too busy to bother wanting to talk, which is fine because I'm too busy trying to get my stuff together, trying to gather these material components. I'm gonna go test
I,
something out.
I can see you definitely seem preoccupied.
Like, yes, yes, yes. And like she pulls out like um she
Check your
reaches her pack.
pockets, Luna.
She reaches her damn.
You got bumped into. Check your pockets.
She reaches into like her stash and she pulls out um like, oh, where is it? She's like pulling various stuff out, and like there's like a puff of smoke. It's like cough, and then he's like, oh, there it is, and she pulls out an apple and starts munching on it. It's like that's what I was looking for, and he
Puff of smoke, Xantis goes, and Undercommon. She's a she's a strange one. And Luna kind of looks down and kind of like nods.
um he goes and does he say that he like whispers that to her or
Now he says it pretty out loud, but it's in Undercommon, and he doesn't know if she
oh, and
speaks Under.
undercommon? Oh, okay. She's looking around at like who spoke undercommon, and she notices it was your like she notices it was your familiar, and she's like, oh. Like, hi there, little guy. Anyway,
He
so
kind of looks at her. You speak
like
undercommon?
so no, I just noticed your familiar can speak. I don't have one myself, but several others here do. Never was concerned for such a thing. And she goes, but I do know that most witches need a familiar, right?
She nods. Yeah,
Okay,
most
so
of
the
us do. There are some that don't, but yeah, most of us do.
so the guy I was telling you about, the Faith Touch guy, he's actually a witch. But I don't see his familiar, which is weird. Maybe it's
Huh?
hiding somewhere. But um, since you're a witch, maybe you're interested in talking to him. All right, gotta go.
Well, okay. Well, this Santa's. We have to go find this man. Another witch in town? What are the odds?
Male
Maybe
witches are called witches still. They're not called warlocks.
No, no, that's a misconception.
Okay.
she starts roaming the school to see if she can find this Fey-touched witch. She has nowhere idea where she's going. She's too nervous to ask for directions.
Well, no, she's been here long enough. It's a few weeks in. She knows her way around at this point. Um, especially with her high intelligence. So when she told you, she gave you direction. Like he said he he's definitely a recent guild member because he's past the doors where only guild members can enter, and he's in the section of the libraries that deals in arcana, but but in arcana that um more of the theories of arcana as well as um books on topics that are more occult in nature. Um, as she said, that's where she had last seen him in that section. And so you make your way over to that section, and you eventually spot him. He wasn't hard to miss. He looks pretty young, although that could be because of his Fey ancestry. Who knows how old he actually is?
I have Fey ancestry. I have
He's
part of the Fey.
um he's uh got a sloped brow and reddish, like a reddish brown coloring to almost like a rust color to his curly hair, and um got a stands about a foot taller than you. He's wearing his he's wearing earth tone colored robes. Um he's got a spell component pouch. You um see a satchel with like what appears to be like several um different types of like herb and plants um in the satchel, and he is he's got he's got a set of spectacles, like reading spectacles, where he's got and he's actually looking through a book, and you could see two very small horns sloping back from his from the top of his head to the back,
Mm.
um like small goat horns. um
So he's
Very,
more of
very, very,
Fey.
yeah, very likely he's half satyr, by the looks of it. Has some satyr ancestry. And that's like the only his facial features is like the only giveaway to that. But the rest of him is human. He doesn't have goat legs, or at least as far as you can tell. Um, and he
So
looks
she
over. Actually, no.
She
he's like intently studying, like reading the book, and doesn't even notice you're there.
she before she like acknowledged or goes up to him, she kind of like examines him, and she's like kind of like freshen herself up, rustle her hair to make sure it's not all over the place. And she speaks to Xanthus, and she goes, "Faith touched. I'm not the only one here. Well, let's do our best not to embarrass ourselves, right?" Xanthus goes, "Well, I can't say I have the best hope, but I know how you get when you get nervous when new people are around and you're excited to meet them. Just be cool, okay? Be cool." And Luna goes, "What does that mean? What does it mean to be cool? What does that mean? Okay? I'm not Sophia, all right? I don't know how to be cool. Look at me. Okay, Gralis." And then she walks up to him and kind of like lightly taps his shoulder.
He slowly looks over with a quizzical look on his face, and he just goes, "Hey,
Hi. Um,
what
I
what
know this is kind of out of place.
what you need?"
I'm Luna. I recently learned that you are a witch, as I am.
Hey,
But what's different is you don't have a familiar that I can see.
oh no, not at all. Not quite in the way that you would expect. So, a fellow witch." He closes his book. At first, kind of felt like he didn't seem want to be bothered, but as soon as you mentioned witchcraft, got his attention. He closes the book, puts it back on the shelf. He noticed that the book he was reading um was a book written about like a history of ley lines. And
Yes! I know this! Yes! That's wild.
um now here's the thing, I had his shit written out and I pretty sure I saved it and I don't know where the fuck it's at. It's driving me nuts because I remember spending a good like fucking hour like writing his shit up and I can't fucking find it anywhere. It's pissing me off. So I'm trying to I remember writing a name down for him too. And I don't
Cool.
but I don't remember the damn name. So I'm gonna have to fucking I believe it started with a G. So I'm gonna have to make make up something new until I can find his shit again. I don't even know which laptop it was I saved on it. I could have swore it was on my original, my previous laptop, but I guess I can't find it on my new one anywhere. And um, but yeah, I had written this guy up, and it's pissing me off that like I can't find it because I had some important shit like written down on his damn thing. I remember some of it. Um, but trying to remember his name. I'll say his name is um. I was trying to give him as close of a Fae-like name as possible, but something Celtic. But
That's so cool.
uh, Yeah, I knew it was something. Excuse me, something like that. All right. He introduced like the name is. He puts out a hand. He's like, they call me Garisteus.
Stas, I'm Luna. It's a real pleasure to meet you. It's even better of a pleasure to meet a fellow witch.
Aye.
Would I know that he's a leyline guardian?
Mm, you can make a local check. Go on Arcana. You can do Arcana. Luna. Luna's aware that he might be a ley. He might very well be a. Considering what he was reading, he might, and that he's part Fae. That he
Mm.
would is could very well be a ley line witch, and she recalls reading up on it and recalling. She recalls in her past that there was a point where she wanted to be one herself,
Uh, that's funny.
and she does remember that they are one of the very few types of witches that do not derive their power from their um nor their patron from channeling through a familiar, but in fact they do it through the various ley lines that circulate through Toril, intertwined with the weave
Mm.
at various points throughout the world, like arteries and veins are throughout a person's body, and that they can draw magic from within these ley lines. Um, so upon your question, um, he goes, yes, you see, which he then explains to you. He goes, you see, my witchcraft comes from the ley lines of this world, crisscross through coral, intertwining sometimes into the Feywild, and went alongside with the weave, drawing my power from there. Also, where I had discovered my patron.
Who's your patron, if you don't mind me asking?
Well, isn't that a question all of us, which is the
Yeah,
mysterious
no kidding.
origins of the patron? Although there's always some sort of cosmic theme to what they bestow upon us, to what they connect with us through. Mine appears to be some sort of being interested in importance. So my magic has been quite, how shall we say, flavored. A set of divinations. Though my magic is still yet meager, and of course the difference between one such as I and one such as yourself is we do not get to collect as much magic as possible to store within a familiar. What we are able to draw from ley lines is, is our is our limit, which only grows when we grow in our own power.
I've
Now, what of your
I've
patron?
well, that's funny. Um, I feel the pull of two separate patrons.
Hmm, strange. I didn't even think that was possible. Do explain.
Well, we have Mistra, I've I've grown into her teachings, her well-beings, and those who have taken me in have accepted me under mistress guiding. But then I have the mistress of the night, Shar, which stems from my family. And I feel her pull as strongly as I do Mistra to join her.
I. You, you mind if I interrupt you? Just a moment. Maybe I misspoke. I don't mean the patron deity, but the source of power through which your witchcraft is channeling from. Oh, wait a second. You aren't confusing the two, are you?
Maybe I got a little excited when people asked. My patron is Shadow.
Ah, interesting. Now I understand the confusion. Huh. It's been a long debate, but there's no real. Now, I don't know what sort of education you've received on witchcraft, but among the among the general populace of those of us that are witches, there's never been a consensus of a patron ever being granted by a god. Although there are gods that would take advantage of any such ignorance and claim that the power, that the magical power comes from them. So I don't know if that helps secure he go- he goes, I don't know if that helps secure you in what you might have originally thought about your patron, or if
And
that may relieve you in some way, but while Mistra is in control of the weave and us witches still rely on using the weave to control and shape our magic, it is not Mistra who grants it to us. As I doubt it would be Shar who grants you your magic through your patron of shadows. Although I'm
she like
sure somebody like Shar, I'm sure a deity like Shar would love to claim such a title, and probably has fooled many witches into believing that.
ponders and she takes a second and like she kind of like scratches her face just a little bit and she goes, that is actually kind of reassuring because I was led to believe that she supplied my abilities and my power, and she was merely giving it to me as a sense of security.
Well, you don't have to feel fooled any longer. We wield arcane power, not divine. Shar couldn't grant it nor take it away from you if she wanted to.
It's going to be an odd question, and feel free to not answer. But what do you know of the Shadow Weave?
Aye. That troubling magic. I don't like it. Not one bit. Or should I say, I don't like who's governing it. It would, I'm sure, to many wizards, even some sorcerers out there, be an interesting form of magic to experiment with, to learn and gather knowledge about. But have to call the mistress of your night your patron in order to properly access such and channel such magic through there. Yeah,
Maybe
not
that's what
a,
she means.
quite possibly. Now, I couldn't tell you where your shadow patron comes from or the source of it, but the widely accepted fact that it doesn't necessarily, or if at all, come from a deity. Maybe there are deities who guide mortals into witchcraft via these patrons, but wherever its origins are, it's it's flowing this information and power through you, and it, for all intents and purposes, it is yours and yours alone to wield as you see fit.
Mine and mine alone to wield. I don't think I wish I could put into words how much help you've given me just in this conversation alone. Because it's a struggle. Um, I am not your typical witch by the books. I would be defined as a jinx witch. I consume spells to empower myself. And I feel, while I can't recall if I were to put the pieces together, it was one of the reasons I'm no longer with my coven. But to know that Mistress is pulling the strings and led me to believe that she is providing what makes me who I am and what brings my magic alive is freeing. And it gives me more confidence to confront her if she so ever comes back to torment me.
I, you interest me, Luna. Come, let us go get something to eat. Let's. I wish to discuss more of this. I mean, there's some stuff that she'll be able to teach you. I'm gonna be in town for a little while. My father Lambden's in town. He's been traveling with him. Just recently left the Laughing Hollow, and he's here to meet up with some old friends and to have a good time, as satyrs are wont to do. So until he's ready to move on, I'll be here in Daggerford. Fine with me, because wherever he goes, I like to follow along and peruse the libraries and research more.
Does absolutely. Because I have more questions about witches, and better yet, where are they?
They're everywhere. Just got to know how to look for them. Not many want to exactly promote their profession, although you have those that do. Those with either no shame or those with great arrogance. And he thought to like walk and lead you over, to a place to go to get some food to eat, some stuff to drink, and your character's been pretty much picking his brain. Um, so yeah, this is where Luna's come to this revelation, and she's learning a lot more from what he says. So she's with that knowledge, boosting her
Plot
arcana,
thickens.
boosting her spellcrafting, as well as boosting her own magical prowess as she's gained the knowledge and as well as the confidence to shape this magic to her will, and now she's grown stronger in her magic, able to access that third level bit of it.
I also want to ask him about renowned witches and stuff like that because I'm sure the books in town probably don't have that locally
Oh, they
available.
do.
Okay.
Yeah, they do. Not probably not about locally, but like historically and regionally and stuff like that. Yeah, that information she got, which will which is represented through like her skill checks and
Okay.
the increase to her skill ranks.
I don't
Um,
want to make a whole side quest about it, but I would love to see if I can contact one.
um,
Get some spells from him. Oh,
yeah, that's one of the things he feels unfortunate that he's unable to do is he doesn't have a familiar uh share spells with you because he would have gladly have done it, and it's the same vice versa. He's got a limited access to magic, so he can't really expand his repertoire.
I was almost a Leyline Guardian. Oh my god, I was almost a Leyline Guardian. It's so
Mm,
I'm glad I didn't, but like, man, I almost did.
that's a good number for HP right there. Shit. Oh man. You're muted. You're muted.
I need to roll HP. I was saying some crazy evil shit. I was saying, good for you. That's why you're choking now, trying to talk about HP.
Like
Listen, I was sitting here like, let me see what
he's
happens if
like
I roll fucking
all
digi
this
dice.
all this witch talk, Lewis. You have been off away.
For real. So
Oh, look how she about to be god. Like, bro, y'all not ready for her. Y'all not ready for
can
Luna.
Lunar make people re-roll their HP?
No.
You don't have that much control over luck and fate and chance? Damn. That'd be godlike
Yeah,
though.
I can call down subtle misfortune.
that's some dungeon master level reality shaping. Oh
I don't
shit.
know if I should roll real dice or if I should just take average or if I should
Take
just
average. I need 10 from
average of D8 HP is 4, right? No,
Uh,
4.5.
yeah,
so round it
it's
down.
rounds up to 5.
Oh, rounds up.
It's,
Oh,
yeah.
rounds down. Or is it
Oh, if it
3.5
does,
that rounds down?
3.5 rounds down, but for like average HP, they round up.
Oh.
I've seen all examples of
I'll round
average of
up.
HP. They just round up. So
What is that then?
5, 5,
Plus
5, 10,
so 5 plus 1, 6, 6, 6, 12.
12. Yeah.
I'm so glad. Like, I'm spilling all my beans about
All right,
Shar,
I'll take average.
her connection to Shar,
It's
and
not
like,
bad.
I'm glad no one else knows. Like, imagine he snitched to like the order,
He
you know?
said, looks like
Imagine he
great
snitched like, hey
HP.
yo, this witch has a problem with Shar right now. Like, they be coming to kill me right now. We knew she'd turn.
Damn. Getting paranoid. Like every witch is in the same order. Like,
Yo.
nah.
They just waiting for me to turn.
Oops, wrong fucking.
I think I started with 9 HP, and then if I would have taken average since level 1, it would have been 5, 5, 5, 5.
That level
No,
6.
5,
Let me
5,
start writing
5
that shit out too.
Julia, Luna,
plus 3,
Lucian. Okay.
18 HP plus 9, so 29. Oh, I'm actually above all 8. Okay, that's not too bad. Average isn't bad.
Lucian.
I don't get a new
I'm
hex.
gonna read
I
this
don't get
off here. We got ourselves. I know I wrote a lot of. I wrote. No, that's Roth. Where's the other shit that I wrote? There it is. Your. This is obviously like early on in the downtime because I know he joined the militia pretty quickly. Um.
Can't wait to update these sheets
So
to
you
level 6,
arrive,
though.
Lucian. You arrive on your first day of militia training at the barracks in town. You can see nearby the table of the sword, the chapel to the war god Tempest, overseen by Baragon Blue Sword. And where is my map? Oh, I could delete this because that whole thing did. There we go. Let's go down here. Zoom in. I believe the table of the swords is one of these buildings. I think it's there or something. Anyway, um, a fitting placement. Before you is a large two-story construction with two banners on the side of the entranceway. There's barracks right here. Um, the two banners is that of Daggerford and that of Waterdeep. You're well aware the barracks also serves as the headquarters of the 3rd Company troops of Waterdeep, stationed here as backup for Daggerford in times of war. In fact, this building is considered a recent construction, as it was decided by the council to have one built ever since the Dragonspear War. The drill field nearby is also recent, within the past decade, built specifically for training warriors and also to appease the merchants at the market, since they were growing frustrated at needing to remove their tents and stalls from the market square just to make room for when the militia wanted to practice. They don't gotta worry about that anymore. The drill field the drill field is an open area just south of the caravan quarter. Soldiers, militia members, and the constabulary can be seen training here nearly every day. When multiple caravans enter town, they often station here as well, since the marketplace is normally too small to accommodate caravans. Theft, thefts here are almost unheard of, especially since the militia and the constabulary control the area heavily. You can see several practice dummies for range combat, various weights for strength training, and obstacles for dexterous training and endurance. Weapon and armor racks display the most common yet efficient weaponry for battle. There's a few exotic weaponry as well for those who wish to brave that kind of training. The armor racks bear mostly light armor and some medium armor, with only a few heavy armor in place. A suit of banded mail, a suit of half plate, and a suit of full plate. There are wooden and steel bucklers, light and heavy steel shields, all available. You've also noticed a few trainees wielding masterwork light crossbows at the ranged training area, a grim reminder of Cubbin's insistent greed. At least Commander Sherlin managed to convince it best to suit up law enforcement instead of Cubbin most likely skimming money for himself by selling some of that gear elsewhere. Outside the entrance to the barracks, you see a small group. You see a small group of youths carousing as they wait for Sherlin to arrive. They were informed to immediately put on studded leather armor, something you're already accustomed to for wearing for combat. But these people here had a rough time getting it on, and not properly either. Their movements also looked clunky, and they even jokingly referred to their inexperience in it so as to not feel as awkward. The group appears to be composed of two human women, one that appears Aluskan in descent, the other Kondathan possibly, and they are around Lucian's age by their appearance. There's a male Lightfoot halfling with a wiry stature and curly blonde hair who seems to be the center of the horseplay, and a relatively young dwarf of dark hair and still growing beard, probably in his 30s or 40s, as is considered young by dwarven standards. And he's smiling slightly, but remains stoically in place as he patiently waits. And then Commander Sherlin then exits, but not from the barrack, but from across the drill field from the Table of the Sword, a place she visits to pay homage to the god of war. He advances as if with great purpose towards the group, inflecting in her voice a commanding tone to stand attention. Everyone does so immediately. Slight nervous chuckle from the halfling, to which Shirley
Group
notices
attention.
with a with a, with,
Half right. Freeze.
with a slight nervous chuckle from the halfling, to which Commander Sherlin notices but pays no heed to at the moment. She is given by one of the town guards a parchment sheet that she quickly reads, and she looks up and down as if making mental note. It seems as if she's reading who the applicants are standing before her. I am Commander Sherlin, and you shall address me as such. You are all here as citizens earning your stay by learning basic training for warfare to not only defend Daggerford, but help keep yourselves and loved ones alive during times of unavoidable violence. We will make sure within the time period you are, at the very least, not killing yourselves or others when using weaponry or donning your armor. We shall also test your skills of strength, reflex, and endurance, and possibly even help improve upon the ones that you have the talent for, or to increase the areas that you wish to gain some talent in, should you take this seriously. And should you happen to exceed certain tests, as judged by me, War Priest Baragon, and his assistant, Lord Calden Durinbold, during the exercises, you will be recommended and possibly invited to join a much more advanced training session to hone the fighter within you. It is purely optional, but I suggest you take advantage of it so as to not waste such strength. Now, let's begin with demonstrating how you currently fight so we can see what areas need improvement. Pair up. You, she points to Lucian as she unclasps her spear from over her back. You'll be you'll be sparring with me.
Lucia stands up, snaps up to attention, and walks out. Um, am I supposed to? Do I have? Do I have my pistol? Do I go? Do I go in?
She she points to your melee
Or
weapon.
do I just go? Uh, okay. But
She goes, "Oh
I
no,
draw
no.
I
We're
draw
not
the
going to
sword.
be." She goes, "We're not going to be working on what you're already good at. We're going to be working
Uh,
on the things that you need to be better at."
hmm, makes sense to me. So Lucian unsnaps his belt, throws his pistol to the side, pulls out the sword, and says, "Let's begin." I don't know. Are we doing dual rolls or is it not like it's not that serious?
Um, why can't I find it? Oh, okay. One second. Now this as this distracts everybody else there, so they can't help but look or glance over. And you've got some already obviously trained militia members that are off, or guards, city guards that are training nearby, also looking over like, ah, Sherlin's reining in some of the new blood. But they seem to be particularly interested because some of them recognize Lucian and they're curious. Uh, so
Can I use set?
roll intimidate.
My roll at level 6 or
Level
level
four.
4?
Level 4.
Will I ever get to use my sheets, sir? Everybody else got to fight at level 6. Why not me?
I think one person did, but not everybody. I think not everybody.
It's just Ophelia.
Nah, it's just a few.
Yeah, it was just Ophelia
I
because
want to fight at level
her
6.
yeah, her thing had happened like later on down in the downtime. This was when
Nah,
you
I got you.
joined the village. Yeah, this is you. I mean, this is you trying to get your fighter
Yeah,
level. Like,
yeah, right. That's me trying to get my fight at levels. Yeah. I roll intimidation. What's it? I think I would know this shit by heart by now.
you're probably busy looking at your 6 level intimidate. That's what.
Yep. God damn, it sure was. I had that shit pulled up.
Well, yeah, even at your
That
level
just plus
4,
8.
it was plus 12.
It's a plus 8 plus 12, yeah. Put the all that in there, and boom.
17 total against. All right. So as the spar begins, um, the her you can tell she's got that commander's presence and that skill. Like you're already like you can't
Mhm.
as you're sizing each other up before like either of you like make the first move. The you can't help but feel like you feel like suddenly you start like to profusely sweat and you don't understand like you're trying to figure out like where it's coming from and you're looking at her and you realize that like she's just putting off this pressure and the minute she enters her fighting stance with her spears, all of a
Mhm.
sudden you feel that pressure, and
You know,
before you could even recover from it, she goes to strike. And
can I use sense motive?
I had used
Use
I
intimidation.
had used the intimidate for this
Gotcha.
combat this dual combat
Gotcha.
initiative.
No problem. But you
And
see,
yeah.
what you see is Lucian is just uncomfortable with a sword in his hand. He picks the sword and he's like, "Fuck." He's so uncomfortable with the sword in his hand. He'd rather have a gun. So,
What's your CMD?
mm, 17.
17.
Uh,
Okay.
Plus 1%. Yeah, 17.
Now, your character's pretty experienced, and so you've come to quickly realize that compared to Sherlin, you immediately notice the difference. Although deep down, you've given yourself some credit because first of all, she surprised. Actually, no, she won initiative. That's right. So hold up, 2 plus. What's your? I gotta see your CMD without the dex. That's right. She caught you off guard. Caught you flat-footed. Moves so quick on you. You
Uh,
get time to react. Your CMD will actually be 13. Okay. All right. I'll take that. I didn't even need to make the second roll then. On the two, you can see you felt
I fucking
confident.
hate
You felt pretty confident that this attack that was coming, which seemed a little bit clumsy even for her. As she like goes to advance forward, she's about 10 feet away. No, she's about 15 feet away from you actually. And she makes a quick lunge, and you figure she was going to take time to get to you before she can make the attack, and therefore you'd be able to recover from the sudden burst, from the sudden infighting she's about to, perform. Um, but that caught you off guard, plus the pressure, like it threw your senses off just enough for her to get the advantage. And when she was only just 10 feet away, he didn't even continue advancing. In fact, she actually decided to make the attack with her spear. But she did it with a technique where, in a way, where like she managed to make her spear lunge further than you thought would have been normal for a spear fighter. Um, she strikes out the spear and um, but she shoves it out, and it almost looked like it was gonna slip out her hand. Was where like you noticed the awkward attack came from, but she recovered quickly from it as she grasps just the tip of the base of the handle just in time, and then um aims it not towards you, um but towards your hand, which has got it's not, you don't have like a gauntlet on, but you have like covering over like the back of the hand with with your studded leather. Um, he like hit the studding on the back of your hand of the leather, and it pushes your hand in a way that causes your fingers to release the grip on your blade, disarming you.
nice.
She pulls her she pulls her spear back and curls it over, and then like she does another lunge again, and the spear, but then she grabs it by the base, and this time the spear like pauses right at your neck. And she stops.
Mm. Fight aware.
She did all that while you were flat. She did all that while you were flat-footed. Like it was just,
Oh,
it felt instant, but then as you were processing it, as you were processing it, that was when you were able to like see in your mind in slow motion how it had all happened, like in hindsight after the fact. And everyone's just, the new recruits are like stunned by her display of prowess, and as for the more experienced members, off to the sidelines, some of them like look a little surprised, like as if, because some of them have heard, stories of um of Lucian and his companions. Um, I mean, I don't know how much your characters like. They know your group. The people here know that
I mean,
the
Lucian's putting on for
That's
Night
right. Yeah,
Watch, so
actually, yeah, that's right.
I
Lucian's been at the
I would say,
taverns. Yeah, yeah.
yeah, I would say I've
Um,
been talking quite just a bit
so
and telling
yeah,
stories,
he's
and
been like promoting.
if I'm gonna spend my downtime performing, it's gonna be doing some, I'm telling
Right.
stories of what we did in the tunnels and how we beat the car, and
So they're aware that like Lucian's not green, not compared to the rest of the recruit. Um, but like the way they see it is they don't really see it as like they don't really see it as in a way he can tell that they're not looking at him any less. Um, he can sense that their opinion on him like hasn't changed. Only that only that the opinion on Sherlin has increased.
Mm.
Um, and she goes, she nods with her spear tip. She shoves the blade towards you, and she's like, again. And you immediately know that, yeah, you've you're a teacher's pet for the rest of for the rest of the 2 week training session.
Lucian looks at the sword on the floor. He's like, "Fuck." Picks up the sword, drives again, shakes it off. Says, "All right, let's go." And he takes out. I mean,
And so training day goes about for that goes on for about like 20 minutes before he starts to make some pointers, and then she has some militia members come assist her as like she's like we're gonna go into like armor training, we're gonna have some of you, so she like spars with like or has other she has like she spars with like you and the rest of them,
hmm
and she has like assistants also like helping the spar. But this time you're wearing heavier armor. Like she makes sure this time you guys are wearing medium armor, and like eventually, as you get used to the medium armor, at some point you're gonna, obviously your group's gonna bump up to like knowing, understanding how to work and fight and equip in heavy armor.
hmm Get the
Um,
heavier plates. Uh,
so, but yeah, but that all happens like during the time that you're spending at the in your militia training. At which point, which is only 2 weeks, but at the end of the 2 weeks, out of everybody there, to fast forward a bit, Sherlin does come to Lucian and says that out of everybody there, he's been chosen for special advanced instruction.
oh, all right.
So,
And Lucian's curious. He goes, "Yes, what is it?"
oh, so she explains to Lucian that the kind of instruction is it's gonna take like his strengths, and it's going to, I guess, put him on a track
Mm,
towards developing into the kind of fighter that he's wanting to develop into. So it's like basically she's saying, you're being trained as a fighter for starters,
hmm
as opposed to like the warrior NPC class, um,
Gotcha.
or even or even a commoner that just happens to have martial weapons or whatever. But
Right.
the you're gonna be trained in the fighter class, and it's also gonna it's also going to explain
Right. How I
because
actually get there.
how he gets into the archetype that he chose.
Right.
Because
Exactly.
the test is as much, not the test, but the class is as much as training him into being a fighter as much as it requires his input
hmm
on what he's trying to hone himself into. And
hmm
so yeah, that
Basically, it's a,
explains your trench fighting style with
Hmm.
your fighter class.
All right. Learn how to
At
take cover better and fire from cover and
yeah,
move in and out of situations with the vigilante hunter. Um,
yep. And
yeah.
your character Lucian started to do that by taking like he took like wagons or like various crates and set them up in the drill field, and he would have he would explain like this is how I need you to attack me as
Hmm.
um
He was practicing. This is where he learned how to work his the team feat.
oh later
He
on
was
down the
practicing.
yeah yeah
Yeah,
yeah
this is where he's gonna bring up how he learned
oh this is where
how
he's
to.
gonna bring the
This is where he
team
learned
later
it.
on
Yeah, yeah.
yeah
He learned
yeah
it. If
because
he
yeah
puts practice in
yeah
the field on how to move better with the unit with all the rest. Does the unit have
yeah
names? Did everybody else have names that he went to basic with, or do I turn them into friends, or is it not like that?
oh actually yeah that first day after the training was over um at the end of the training on that first day
Mhm.
Commander Sherlin dismisses everyone. He states what time in the morning to arrive and that there's consequences for being late. As she turns and walks away towards the table of the sword, her demeanor subtly switches completely to a doting, loving mother as she scoops up a young human boy, around 10 years old possibly, into her arms that was standing near the entrance to the chapel. In fact, it kind of felt rather unnerving to see her easily drop into that personality compared to her stern yet fair demeanor when she's training militia members. Like a complete switch. Um,
Yeah.
and then you hear next to you, that's her son, Jondare, the only one anyone has ever seen her sweet with. Ah, the name's Gilsme Dallythorn. And yeah, in case you're wondering, Bando's my uncle, in case you were wondering about the surname. Been, he- been hearing some interesting tales from Uncle Bando about you, Lucian, right?
oh yeah, what have you heard about me?
Oh man, quite, quite, quite the stories. What are pretty much everything that you've told him that you've been doing since you've arrived.
Everything?
Oh yeah, all the adventures that you had, just and he goes on and he goes on to explain like so pretty much he goes on to explain like everything that Bando's like and from what you gathered from what he's telling you is that Bando only told him about like the combat
Gotcha.
and the daring stuff and you with your sense
Yeah,
motive during the conversation you easily get a sense that like he doesn't know much he doesn't know any secrets just
gotcha.
just
Gotcha. I
like
just want to make it.
just
Make sure.
the yeah just the dramatic flair
Yeah.
of and glory of like the quests that you have undertaken.
All right.
Nothing personal, pretty much.
Gotcha.
Uh, as the this wiry framed, bright blue-eyed, blonde, bushy curled hair with a slight scar on his chin, light feet halfling, as he's talking to you. And then he points to the
What
other
was his
three. Oh,
What was his name again?
his name was Gilsme. Gilsme.
Gotcha.
Gilsme Dallythorn. He points to the other three, beginning with the two human women, one husky with a rotund face and a thick brunette braid, the other a tall, lanky woman of Kondafan descent, light brown hair. She's got it in a ponytail, green eyes, and she has a large angular nose, being the most prominent feature. They both nod in greetings. Um, he goes, "That's Alina and Anvil," and then he points to the door. Frog Dome. Although we call him Frog because he kind of looks like one when he drinks. And they all start chuckling, and Frogdome scowls at Gilsme, who laughs in jest, followed by Anvil calling out, Yeah, he sure loves a plate of frog legs, too. The dwarf then merely rolls his eyes, and then he points to Gilsme. This little bastard will try to get on your nerves at some point, but it's best to ignore the twit. And then Anvil nudges Lucian. So we're planning to hang out at Lady Luck Tavern. You want to come along?
Yeah, sure. Why not?
I should probably type the names that way. Anvil. Uh,
Pretty pretty well known over there.
so we've heard.
Maybe I can show you guys around.
And so you guys enjoy your evening after um actually yeah, they invited you for later because obviously they're gonna go back and change their outfits and get cleaned up and ready to go hang out at the tavern, which when you arrive there later after get yourself all cleaned up and spruced up, they're there. You see them at a table and um you sit down and you start carousing and talking and your groups start to get the drinks. We're pretty much having a relaxing evening, being first after the first day in the with the first hard day of the militia training. And as the night goes on, you see the one of the patrons who frequents the tavern, the bard Jansen. He comes in, and he comes in with actually the last time you seen him was when
Yeah,
was during
yeah.
Sophilia's birthday party,
Right,
and you
right.
could
I
see
just I just
you see him coming in with Lambden and
mm,
a few other musicians
oh
with
man.
him as they're getting ready to set up to play music for the night. And during that night,
Mm,
you do notice, out of all the patrons here, you do notice three in particular at a table, um, just a few tables away.
oh,
Um,
here we go.
um,
I'll have a new bar.
just a few tables away. You see three individuals. You see a large, burly human, Alaskan man with blonde hair and got this like gaudy belt around his waist. Kind of looks like some sort of like a trophy belt, like some kind of champion's belt.
Can I look?
Um,
Can I identify it at all, or
you can
what would
make
I?
out you don't know exactly.
Knowledge local.
Yeah, you could do a local.
Yes. Nope.
The only thing you recognize on the belt is like you can kind of see like a symbol of you can kind of see like the insignia of the city of Waterdeep on it.
Mm,
But other than that, you can't really make out like where it could have been from or what it's about, but it's related to Waterdeep in some way. Maybe
mm,
quite possibly at maybe some sort of a set of games or maybe a tournament that they might have had there. Although Lucian's not
gotcha.
Lucian's not exactly um knowledgeable about everything that goes on in that city. Um, he's yet to even have gone there himself, but he's heard a lot about it, and he's bumped into many people that have come from there and are traveling through or traveling from the south and going to Waterdeep. Um,
Mm,
but yeah, from what he knows, it's extremely lively, extremely gigantic metropolis of all sorts of. He's heard all sorts of stories. Um,
Mhm.
many that many he knows has to be embellished. Um, or maybe not. Like he can't even tell if they're embellished or not. Um,
Right.
basically, Waterdeep's the New York City of Forgotten Realms.
Gotcha. Gotcha.
That's the reputation it has.
Gotcha.
Um, Hmm. yeah, like if Faerun was America, Waterdeep would be its New York City. Um,
Gotcha. So he's a big deal.
uh, so you see him, and near him you see a rather roguish-looking, dark-haired elven woman, moon elf, from the looks of it. She's nearby, sitting gracefully, all poised, got the sly grin on her face, and she like glances over to Lucian. She furrows her brow like she's kind of like in a way like she's checking him out. And then
Hmm.
then she looks back over to the burly warrior character, and she's listening to him like, and you can tell that he's not like fully drunk, but he's definitely got a good buzz going, and he's like play the music more louder, as he's like calling out to the musicians. And
Uh-huh.
You see Lamden look over like, all right, and he like changes up um he's got the band playing.
Can I ask who? Can I ask the people if they know who he is? Like the people I'm with. Uh,
Um
can I ask
yeah,
Gilsme?
so yeah, you can ask you
I'm
ask
like, yo,
Gills me.
I lean over there. I'm like, yo, Gills, because I'm gonna call him Gills. I'm gonna call him Johnny Gills. Um, I'm like, yo, Gills. Who is that with the belt on?
Not sure. I know they're a group of adventurers, I'm pretty sure. They've been here for a little while, kind of in and out.
Mm.
Maybe maybe a month or so. They're not residents here, but
Do you know what that belt is for?
he looks at it and he's like, "Hey, do any of you guys know about that?" And the dwarf, Frog Dome, he's like, "Might have won that at some sort of fighting tournament, probably in Waterdeep. I've heard of those."
I'm sorry to interrupt, but is this Gangsta's Paradise?
No, it's adventurous. It's adventurous paradise.
This is Gangsta's Paradise.
This is
No,
a Paradise, right?
it's adventurous
This is
paradise.
this is Coolio, nigga. Ah, this is
Yeah,
click.
it's
I'm
cool.
like,
Yeah.
wait a
Bang
second.
about my life.
What is going on? This is like, I'm trying, I'm
Living in
humming along. Like,
adventurous
wait a
paradise.
second. And my neurons are firing, and finally the fucking memory connects. I'm like, wait a
He's like,
second.
I know I heard this shit before. I think they
Oh,
steal
that's
it
crazy.
Yo,
and they
that
re.
is dope as fuck, yo.
Oh man.
All right, I'm sorry. Go ahead.
Yeah, my bad, my bad.
Lambden says it's called adventurous paradise. That's the title of the song.
Yeah, they stole it and they rebranded it.
Yeah, yep. Oh yeah, they did.
This isn't the first time they did that. Didn't we have like another track like this? Forgot what it was
Yeah,
Uh,
called.
there was another one.
it
There
was
was
a
another one
Usher.
last week.
It was a Usher song.
Yeah,
Usher one.
it was
Yeah, that
something.
was right.
Something we were at the party or something. Something was going on.
But anyway,
Like,
um, Orc singing along. Living an
This is
adventurous
insane.
paradise. Gotta make the lyrics match. Nigga, you are at the Lady Luck Tavern. This is an establishment with other adventurers.
Right.
And Lucian's, he's met some, here and there as they've come through. It's where he's gathered, he's got his skills, learned some of his, social skills that he's gotten, as well as like his knowledge local. Um, the dude coming to Earth crime, stealing tunes and taking them back to Figure. Although apparently, legitimately, Elminster does travel to Earth once in a while.
Jeez.
He probably brought back some of the music that got
What
carried
am I
in.
hearing right now? That sounds crazy.
Yeah, yeah, no, it's official.
Earth is an actual place in D&D.
Yeah, and the Forgotten Realm setting in D&D, yeah. It's the same with Pathfinder. Pathfinder, there's a planet Earth, in Galarian's like um uh universe.
Hmm.
I think the way Greenwood explained it was Earth is in its own crystal sphere, which is obviously very big, and it's a non-magic universe. And only Elminster, and I think Elminster visits there along with uh is it Dalamir Dalamar from Dragonlance, and from the world, and Mordenkainen goes there too.
Mm.
They travel to Earth and they hang out at Greenwood's house. But Greenwood's never, they hang out there, but he's never like, he's always hiding somewhere and like just like eavesdropping on their conversation.
The fuck?
Yeah, it's wild. I gotta pull up the articles and put them on WhatsApp. Um,
All right.
in fact, when people asked him like, why is it called the Forgotten Realms, and his answer was, it's a world, it's a world that actually like connected to Earth in a way where our legends and our stories and our myth that get lost in time and in history, um, there's a home for it ends up having a home in the world of Forgotten Realms.
Mm.
Hence why it's called the Forgotten Realms, because it's like the stuff that we here on Earth has forgotten about, but it and like we don't know the origin, or even the stories that we do know and we don't understand the origin of it. It all actually came
Mm.
from Coral.
Mm. Interesting shit.
So like, I guess the easiest example is like our stories of like, I don't know, like vampires. They were never originally a story that came from our people here on Earth. It actually came from Toro.
Right.
But like,
We forgot.
yeah, since we don't know like the actual origin of the vampire, yeah, we've got stories of Vlad, but we also have stories of like the Aztecs having vampires. Yeah, but we also have stories of like the Jiangxi from China, like, what's the true origin? Where did it all come from? How did it start? And it's like, well, it actually came from here, but you forgot.
Mm.
Um, hmm. And the only two major connections, the only two major portals that, from what I know, that's ever actually, um, it's why in Forgotten Realms you do see some things that correlate to Earth, but not all of it. Like Forgotten Realms has a lot of its like its own unique cultures, but it's also got like elements that seem or are even or even could be blatantly like borrowed from Earth. That's because some natives of Earth have actually came to Toril in the far past and just have made a home here. And so like their legends and stories that they brought from Earth came to Toril, and that got warped over time. But you can still see familiar elements in their culture and in their religions. Um, it's why the Northlander, it's why the North in Faerun, places like Icewind Dale in the north and out in the seas near the islands of Rurathum, there's a very close culture to like Vikings. So they're like Forgotten Realms Vikings, but they're not exactly based off of Earth's Vikings. They're a set of Vikings that have developed into their own unique culture. But they were originally when they first arrived in Faerun and settled way before that, they were called the Rus people, and the Rus people are originally from Earth, and they ended up somehow mystically, they ended up in Forgotten Realms and have settled over time. And it's yeah, it's a lot of there's a lot of lore in this fucking in this game world. There's a lot. I'd be going down the rabbit holes forever when I get into
Right.
it. Um,
All right. What up?
but yeah, it's
I
some
don't want
cool
to eat on the
shit.
mic.
Just like Moharan. Moharan is a place that's got Egyptian ties, but it's mixed in with like Babylonian as well. It's pretty wild. Um,
Hmm.
heck, they had it. The Moharan's gods, which are obviously based off of Egyptian gods, they kept the same names of the gods. In Faerun, they actually had to deal with like we have our story of how Ra died and came back and all that, but like that story is different in the Forgotten Realms. Um,
Uh,
that story is the people of Moharand. They were attacked by when by hordes of orcs. Um, and those orcs, their shamans, grew in so much power that they summoned the avatars of the orc deities who helped them fight against the Moharan. So the Moharan were like, well, we need our gods to help us
Mm.
fight. And so um, a lot of the deities ended up fighting a lot of the Egyptian based deities like ended up fighting the orc gods and Groom. I think Horus, not Horus, Ra was killed by Groom, the orc god, and then Osiris brought him. Yeah, Horus was killed by Groomsh, and then I mean Ra was killed by Groomsh, and then Horus took over. I think Horus subsumed his father's essence, and that's how he became Horus Ray. And but yeah, like it's it's pretty interesting how they have
excuse
it
me.
set up. But so the third individual that you see at the table is a guy that looks to be like a human, also Alaskan in descent. His hair is more is dark in color, and it's like it's like up the like mid neck length, and he's got it like brushed back, and he's got like the goatee like carefully pruned, and he's got he's wearing these robes, and he's got like he looks older than the other two. He looks more like close to his 30s. Um, and he's sitting there and he looks over to Lucian, but like the look on his face is one of like malcontent, kind of like not hostile, just like this. It's as if he's got something. It's as if there's something about Lucian that's like got him annoyed.
Hmm.
And then as you look at the robes that he's wearing, you recognize the symbol on the back of his robe. It's the same symbol as on those rings and on the studded leather armor that you found in the Whispering Khan that belongs to the sect of Augmen worshippers known as the Seekers.
Mm.
Um, as Oryx sits back down, he's like satisfied with the music that's playing, and he looks over uh he looks over towards Lucian. He raises a mug. He's like, "Hey, you there?" And you can see that the Seeker, he looks over to him, and you can hear him call out. He's like, "No, Oric, no."
Uh,
He's like, "No." And Auric was say Auric, said Oric, Auric. And Auric looks over. He's like, "Oh, Kellic, you're no fun. I'm only here to enjoy the company that we have here in this tavern, and I've heard stories about. Hey, uh, Lucian is your name, correct?"
uh, yeah, yeah, that's what they call me.
And then he puts a mug across the like a he grabs a mug that he had ordered of some drink, and he puts it on the table. He's like, "Come, join us for a minute, will you?"
Mm. Certainly, certainly. Grabs the mug up, sits down, says, "What can I do you?
Sit
Can I do
down.
what you
You
got?
sit
How's
down.
everything?"
You looking around. You see the barkeep. You remember, you see barkeep. You look over. There are times you look over towards the silver chalice, the silver goblet that's at the end of that at the end of the bar that no one should ever
The empty
touch.
one,
Yeah.
the empty right, you
Well, it's
gotta
not
like,
empty. It's not empty. It gets a drink
right,
gets
right.
poured in it, but nobody's supposed to touch it.
Yeah.
Nobody's supposed to
No
grab
one,
it.
you can't touch it. You
Don't
can
sit
never
in the
touch it,
seat.
right?
Nothing. Um,
Right, right, right.
there's times
Status
you look.
Temora.
There's times, yeah. There's times you glance over there for two reasons. One, you're curious if you're
Uh,
ever gonna see it happen, and
mm,
two, to make sure, just like every other patron that comes here a lot. Two, you look over there and make sure there's no asshole that actually tries to fucking drink from it because they get fucked up real quick and thrown out.
yeah,
Um,
yeah, right.
so,
It's on site if you touch that mug.
glance over, you
Gotcha.
don't see, you see a couple of pages like pointing at it and talking about it and like, but you don't get the sense that like anybody's really gonna fuck with it. Um, so you sit down and he goes, "I'm Auric. This fine elven lady here is Tira, and this bastard's
Mm.
Kelly."
Okay, Keller, he goes, "Nice to meet you. I'm Lucian."
Oh, spelled that wrong. Kellic. Um,
Keller,
you hear Tira. Kellic just nods, and grunts a bit as Tira. Uh,
can I sense? Do I sense that you said that right? You said I sense that he just got it. He just gave me an off vibe. Gotcha.
yeah, he got like
Yeah. I'm not gonna
like an
pay
off
no mind.
vibe. Yeah.
Yeah,
Um,
I'm not gonna pay no
and Tira um, uh, he goes, "Yes, pleasure to meet you." She like softly presses your hand in greeting,
mind.
and
Hmm.
then if she sips her drink, and he Auric, who's very boisterous, as he introduces them, he uh he goes we haven't been here that long, and we've seen you a few times here. And he's like, "I gotta say, you and your group, what do you call yourself? You're calling yourselves the Night Watch now.
Yes, yeah,
It's like, yeah,
you're correct.
I gotta hand it to you guys. We came here, over a month ago, trying to build a reputation, and because we're adventurers as well. Pellic here is tagging along because we were exploring, we were exploring the cairns out over in the Forlorn Hills.
Mhm.
And he takes a swig, and he's like, "Yeah, we were trying to pick which one we were gonna explore, and we settled on the Sturgis cairn." And then Pellic looks over, and he's like, "You settled on the Sturgis cairn. I wanted to explore the Whispering Cairn because I had business there." And
Mhm.
Auric's
What
like, "Yeah,
business did
yeah,
you have
yeah."
there? Lucian interrupts him and goes, "What business did you have there?"
Pellic looks over to you, and he's like, "Well, sure you know why, Lucian. Us Seekers wanted to explore that for ourselves because a member of our order had lost their life there 60 years ago trying to explore it themselves. And we are
Mm.
entitled to whatever it was that was going to be found within that cairn.
Oh, you think?
Unfortunately, clearly, it's been picked over by your group." And uh,
Hmm.
Kira looks over at Kelly, and she's like,
Pick.
now, Kelly,
Nah,
play nice,
Lucian says,
play nice."
Lucian's like picked over. It's said, if you wanted it, you could have went down there and got it yourself, but apparently you were clearly not built for that.
Hmm.
Kelly's
Please
like,
don't sell us short. Don't act like we didn't go down there and fight for our lives down in those carns. I don't I would never do that to you, a fellow adventurer.
Kelly is like, "Go over there." They prevented anyone from going to the Whispering Con after what you guys did there, whatever it was, and you probably sold half the stuff you found there where we wanted it for historical purposes. And
Stole? No, no. Stole is such a harsh word. Please get it right.
Auric looks over to Kellic,
Procured.
and Auric is like, "Kellic is being a fucking buzzkill right now.
we
I
we
want
didn't
to."
steal anything. We secured the gold, sir.
Kellic just Kellic just sneers, and he doesn't look interested in even bothering to continue the
But
conversation anymore. As Auric is
can I
like, um, Auric is like,
can I ask him one more thing? Can I
yeah,
ask him one more thing? Can I
yeah.
what did he lose? What did we find anything that I don't know? Would we know if we found anything of
Oh yeah,
his
there
dead
are just.
people down there?
Oh yeah, yeah, you did. Well, it wasn't. It was people that had explored it about 60 years ago, but yeah, they were members of the sect.
Right, but we found armor and shit of theirs, right? That's where we found like
You found the bodies, and they were wearing the red
it
studded.
was that in the elevator where I had to jump in the elevator and snatch shit and
I
then jump
think
off the
I
elevator.
think there was one in there. Yeah, yeah, there was one there. There was one in the water.
Gotcha,
Um, on the lower
gotcha.
level, there was one that was floating in the water, and then you
Under the
found
water, yeah.
what's his name? I think it was
That
Usta
man would have went
Ustala.
down there and died to the brown mold. I don't know why
Right,
he's so
like
eager.
like
He's so
that's why
eager.
Yeah, it was
that's what
two
I'm
of them.
saying. So I've got
Ustalav.
Can Lucian say one more thing too? Because Lucian asked me like,
He's so eager
listen,
to go down there and get bodied by
he's
the
trying to.
apparition.
Lucian's gonna try and use some diplomacy and calm him down, and uh and say, listen, he's like, yo, I'm sorry that you lost your friends, you lost your brothers down there. Uh, Me and my crew had never intended to steal anything, and we don't feel like we did. He said we went down there and we actually fought for our lives, and I don't know which was yours and what is not. I'm not from here, so if there's anything I could help you with, trying to maybe if it helps in Because is it like a ritual or something? Do you need it to?
It was for knowledge, Lucian. So unless you care to share all the knowledge you've discovered down there,
Mm. Well, here's the thing. I could, I could, but I don't know you. So why would I? Right? So that's not probably not going to happen. Lucian just takes a sip of his drink. He goes, "But what I can do is you can tell me if you needed some help, what you need, and I can tell you if I can help. Very simply, yes or no. If I can help, I'll help. If I can't, I won't.
you made it clear you're not going to help me with what I seek.
Knowledge. What type of knowledge do you see?"
What did you find? What treasures were there? What relics? What artifacts?
Lucian,
What
he doesn't really have a mind for all of the arcana and all that stuff that was down there. So he's like, I don't really know what we found. There was a ton of things. Lucian lies a little bit, even covers it up just a tad.
So
Um,
maybe the more
bluff.
scholarly ones of your group would know.
Hmm. I don't think for some reason I feel like if you were qualified to know, you would know, right? So if you don't know, then maybe you just shouldn't know.
We are the seekers, Lucian.
Uh,
We'll get
I
our
know.
knowledge one way or another. And he takes a drink
Hmm.
and he leaves it at that.
Can I take to that? Yeah, one way or another, indeed. Lucius sips his drink. And,
Kira looks over Kelly. She's like,
he
"Oh,
goes, he,
poor Kelly," and
he goes,
she patronizes him by like stroking his head like as if he was like a child, and he like flicks her hand away
uh,
like
is your friend always so sad?
he's just the
Yeah.
more more serious type. Yeah, you have those in all, and you have those in all of your in all the groups. All of us are venturing groups. I'm sure you have one in yours.
Okay, we got an orc by the name of Roth.
Oh,
Still
Roth.
trying to figure out how to be friends with.
We've heard a few tales of him as well.
It's a good dude. It's a good dude.
Yeah, she and yeah, our and Arik is like, yeah. Oh, I hear he's mighty strong as well. Would enjoy an arm wrestling match with him. And he's such a brave one to be facing the undead like that. Oh,
Mm,
I don't have
he's probably,
any likings for the things that should stay in the ground. No, 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 no.
mm, yeah. He's one of the best fighters I've ever seen. Him and Sophia.
And they all yeah, Tira and Arik is like, ah, yes, a paladin of Mitra. Yes, we have heard much about her as well. Many, many good things. Her and her sister, in fact, is she's a caster amongst you.
Hmm.
And then
Yeah,
Thinking these people barely knowing me.
I'm not gonna. Lucia doesn't give up any names. Lucia gave
right.
exactly names of people he wanted to. He's not saying no more, nothing less. He
I
gave up enough.
appreciate that though. I appreciate
No,
that.
Lucia doesn't. He likes to keep secrets, so that's how Lucian is. So
And then Tira's like, yeah, it's also amusing. You have another caster amongst you that has a rather strange, gruesome creature that follows it around everywhere.
uh,
Motherfucker know a
yeah.
lot.
Oh, you mean pale lady?
Pale lady. Huh.
Mm.
Arik laughs like, there's
He
nothing
takes a sip.
ladylike about that thing, I'll tell you that.
He said, He said Lucia laughs and he goes, "Have you talked to her? She's got an attitude like you would believe." It takes a sip.
I bet. If I look like that, I'd have me an attitude every day myself.
Easy on the pale lady. That's my for home girl.
I understand. I understand.
It's a
Well,
friend.
let's share some stories and some drink. And um, he's like, and a game. And he picked out like a box, opens it up, there's some dice. Like, let's have some fun. It's like, you
Lucia's
played
like,
this,
"Oh, you want to bet?"
it's like you played this game. And
Uh,
he tells you, you ever played Spellbones?
no. I'm gonna say yes, just because Lucian's a gambler.
Yeah,
So
you're a gambler.
I'm a,
Yeah,
I,
with
I'm a
your
gambler,
ranks, yeah, if your
and
ranks in
and
the gambling,
I already
he
have
knows.
have ranks in
Yeah,
gambling. So
he's
let's go.
definitely he's definitely he's definitely heard of it, and he's played it
uh,
several times already.
Lucian said, oh yeah, okay,
It's like a
yeah."
local game
Lucian
that
Chris,
gets played.
Lucian, I'll bluff. Lucian bluffs. He goes, "No, I'm not. I heard a little bit about it. You know, he's gonna play like he doesn't really know what he's doing. He's gonna try and suck it."
He said, I'm a hustle."
A little bit of a
Good.
hustle. I'm kind of familiar with the rules.
Did I open up the right? Yeah, I did. How to get the da, 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 da. Where is it? Did I put the page? No, I put the magazine number, not the page number. There it is. All right, so he- here's what Lucian knows about the rules. It's been gaining increasing popularity among any dice throwing games here in town. Um, the basic game, it's very similar to another dice game that's called Fireball. Um,
Mhm.
the way Fireball is played is very simple. They take five six-sideds, and everybody rolls five six-sideds, and whoever gets the highest is the winner.
Gotcha.
But with Spellbones, got more complexity to it.
Oh boy.
The difference between Spellbones and Fireball is that when you roll the 5d6, um, each die that comes up as a six is ends up being a magic die.
Okay.
And with a magic die, it contributes no points to your total. It's treated as a zero, but it can be used to change the result of another player's dice that didn't roll a six. So like if
Okay.
another player had rolled a five, you could use
Right.
a magic dice you got to like, oh, I'm gonna change that to a one. Um,
Right.
as for the second difference is that um you can actually create creatures by rolling different combinations of numbers. Um,
Oh God.
and any result of your five six-sided that contains a creature automatically defeats any non-creature result. So if you roll a 5d6 and it was a combination of a dice that came up with a creature, um, which I have the list here, so I'll let you. If any time you roll the dice, it comes up as a creature, I'll let you know. Um,
All right.
and anytime if you when you roll the dice and it comes up with a creature, it automatically beats everybody else's dice rolls.
So you
No matter what they
can you do
roll,
so?
like it beats them if their dice roll didn't come up with a creature. However, if you have a creature and somebody else rolled up a creature,
These
then
creatures fight.
well, it's not literal, but I mean,
Uh,
somebody could cast an illusion spell
right.
and
Have a
have fun
kaiju
with
fight.
have
Little
fun with
mini
it.
kaiju fight.
Um, but if there are other rollers that end up with a creature, then it ends up whoever's got the better creature
Mm.
is the winner. Um, So like if you go to roll 5d6 and you get two twos,
Gotcha.
you actually end up getting a creature. You get a stirred. You get a stirred. But if somebody
Yeah,
ended up getting two fours, they get a cockatrice, and cockatrice beats the stirred. It's a stronger
gotcha.
creature.
All
So
right, let's get the rolling.
we'll do a game between Kellic, Kellic bows out. He's like, "You enjoy your silly game," and so it's you, Tira, and Auric.
Hmm.
Um, so I'll do Auric with 5d6. Um, he's
Mm-hmm.
like he's like, "Let's make this fun." And he takes out his pouch and he puts down 20 gold pieces on the table.
Lucia goes, nah, double that. Let's make it really fun.
So Lucius putting out 40. All right.
Yeah.
So Auric's like, okay. Puts out 40. He looks over to Tira, and Tira's like, fine. She takes out 40 per gold. And Auric grabs the dice.
Now we're having fun.
All right, roll your 5d6. Oh, what the hell? Why is it not? Okay, doesn't recognize it. Really? There it goes. Okay.
God.
Okay,
So many
Lucian
dice.
got 14. He didn't get any magic dies. Auric got 14. He's got no magic die. Kira's got a magic die, and she got the highest number.
I actually got highest number.
So he he uses her magic die, the 6.
Mm-hmm.
Um, she uses that to change Auric uh one of his 2s, changes it into a 1. And Auric looks over. He's like, "You didn't want me to have my skirt." She's like, "Of course not." She's like, "I'm trying to win." He's like, "Ah, lie one she is." And he looked over at Lucy. He's like, "What do you have?" "What?"
He goes, Lucia looks at his
And
dice. He's like,
you look at your dice,
14?
and let's see. The die results. Let's see. You got any? He's like, "Oh, why didn't you get rid of his creature? He got a cockatrice."
Oh.
Uh, you had two. You got two fours. Does it have to be?
Mm-hmm.
All different combinations. Anyways, I don't see 3 fours, but I see 2 fours. Um, yeah. So you got a total of 14, but you have a creature. You have a cockatrice out. Auric has no creatures out because he's got a 1, 2, 3, 2 threes. Do 2 threes yield anything? No, 2 threes don't yield anything. So your roll automatically beats Auric's. So it's to see if it beats Tira's. Tira's 6 actually counts as a 0. So she's got 9, 9, 4, 13, 13, and 3 makes it a 16. However, she, with her 2 fours, she has a cockatrice out as well.
Cockatrice as
Yep.
well.
Um,
And wins, right? It's a push.
so what happens is the 2 players both roll creatures, the more powerful creature wins. However, in the case of a tie, we total the result of the player's leftover dice, not counting any 6s to break the tie. So we got your two
Right.
fours are gone. So you got 4, 1, 1, 6, and her 2 fours are gone. She's got 5 and 3, which is 8. So she looks over to Lucian. She's like, wait, 2 points. Gotcha. Like my cockatrice beat your cockatrice.
Uh,
So she grabs all that
It
120
was like,
gold. She's like,
live was like it's a hell of a cockfight.
and Arik just goes busted up laughing. Alex just looking and just shaking his head like whatever. Like he can't wait to
Oh
leave
man.
later. Um. So yeah, and we'll do one more game and then we'll have it where you roll your gambling check.
Uh-huh. Bro, mom.
Yeah, roll yours.
Oh God.
3 ones. You actually have a creature with that. You have an Otiug,
Ugh,
which is stronger than the cockatrice and the sturge.
yeah.
So you got
Low as shit.
your roll. You got a creature. Let's see. Auric's 1, 2, 2, 3, 5. He's got a creature as well. He's got a sturge, but your Otiug beats the sturge. Hera, on the other hand,
All right.
he's he's got yeah. Nobody has a magic die, so yeah. There's no sixes. He's got 1, 2, 3. Oh shoot. Auric puts out. I forgot how much. Let's put out how much money is out there again. He does 25.
Um. I don't know. Lucian puts out another 40.
40 raises to 40.
Mm-hmm.
Hera's like, you know what? This is before the roll. He was
It
like,
would be before the roll,
Tira
so I
puts out
wouldn't. I wouldn't.
she puts out 100. And Auric's
Oh
like,
no.
Tira! Arr."
Okay.
He puts
I
out
mean,
his he puts out his
I
100.
know I
He's
didn't
like,
win.
you put out yeah, you put out your 100. And now the results of the die rolls. Um
Mm-hmm.
he's got a creature which is a cockatrice. She looks over to Lucian, she's like, "Well, you got me that you got us that time. Your Otiug beats cockatrice and sturge. You
Mm.
won what? You lost what? 40. You gained back
I lost 40.
like 260 now.
Write that down.
Auric's like, all right, all right, all right. Before you guys run me dry, we'll keep it. He takes out. He has another pouch. He's like, I'm keeping it the silver pieces for the rest of the
You're breaking Ulrich's pockets.
right.
Want
He's
all
like,
that money. I
hold
want
on.
all the money.
He's like, hold on.
Double it. Double it.
Where are you some silver pieces tonight? He's
Double it.
like,
That's what happens.
so yeah, you can add 260 gold.
Lucian picks up the money. It says, Fortune favors the bold. Thank you, Tamora. And throws a little tip for Tamora. Because he wanted at the tavern, throws a tip over the bar at the tavern. Just leaves a tip there for the good goddess. At least if you leave a gold behind.
And you guys, you um enjoy the rest of your evening. Alric and them go to leave, and he's like, I gotta meet the rest of your friends sometime. You could tell he's just drunk as hell. And he's like, and ah, you need to come see me. See me. I'm going back to the fighting ring, Waterdeep. See me,
Mm.
or
Lucian goes, where? What's that?
maybe join it yourself when the time comes around.
Lucian looks over like,
Or if one of your friends is interested in like that, like your
mm,
half orc friend. Yeah.
mm. Maybe I will. Actually, I think he would be interested in that. I think Roth could actually come down there and do some work. He's like, as a matter of fact, I'm willing to put some money on him.
Damn, son.
Um.
And
So yeah,
Lucian looks at his belt. Lucian looks at his belt. He's like, I want that. He's
he's like, oh, this. He's like, yeah. I'll admit it was tough. I thought I
Mm,
wasn't going to get it in the end, but back into the ring we go again.
mm.
And Tira looks over. She's like, we. He's like, you're going to do it. He's like, you're going in. She's like, I'm gonna be watching, just like last time. It's like it's not my cup of tea.
Mm.
Um,
Not a fighter.
she's like, not in the traditional sense.
Mm.
She like twirls a dagger around. Because I'm not real. Well, she doesn't say it, but like you could tell there's
Don't
roguish
let her
elements
bump
about
into
her,
you, nigga. Don't let her bump into you at all.
Right.
right? It's like don't let her bump into
Some
you.
earnings will come up missing.
Yeah. So the fighting ring in Waterdeep.
Yeah, he like he tells you I'm gonna send it later because I forgot the exact name of the games.
Okay,
Um, and he tells you the date, but the date's not exactly important right now because
gotcha.
um it will be the date's gonna be set. It's gonna coincide later on, so I don't want to say yeah, it's next month, and then your characters I don't know have like
Right,
fucking two
right,
months downtime again or whatever, and
right.
and it's like wait a
Got,
second, this wasn't supposed
gotcha.
to happen yet, but
Got,
yeah, he gives you a place and date. Um, in the meantime, as you're heading home, heading back to your guest chambers at Fair Fortune Hall. Um, really? Okay. Um, you see, occasionally once in a while you pass by. There are lanterns that are lit, and there are there's these teenagers that hired out by the there's a guild that like keeps one of the jobs they have is that they try to keep the lanterns lit in certain streets at
hmm
night. Um, so it's not like completely fucking dark. Um, so you see a couple of them now and then. Um, you see occasionally you see like they'll come in pairs. Two like city guards. They'll do like a little patrol throughout the streets at night. Um, they see you, they nod. Because you see the two guards. There's two guards you pass by. They nod to you, in greeting, recognizing you. You recognize each other from the militia.
Right.
Uh, one of them had helped out with like the dummies, and the other one had, you remember the other one like had sparred with you for a little while. Um, they're like, you should, they tell your name and they just continue forward. They're like, um, they say, enjoy your evening, and they're walking away, and uh, turn you it gets as you're getting closer to the Fair Fortune Hall, the streets are getting quieter. Um, people are in their homes. It's getting close. It's getting close to the Moondog, to like midnight. It's probably like an hour away from it, and
Uh, spooky time.
you there's 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 a street traveler, walking. But they're like, you really don't like you're aware of them. They're about like 20 feet behind you. Um, and you don't mind at first. Um, although the with your perception, you're able to like hear that the way they're walking seems a little the way they walk and the sounds that they make as they walk, it sounds like they're like maybe in medium armor or something. So you like
Mm,
you know you glance to see who it is, and you just see this figure with like um this black all black cloak just wrapped around and wearing
mm,
like a hood, a hood over it
yeah.
to hide the facial features. And it's just like so the way it's walking is just like
Hmm. Can I do a sense motive?
it's like this weird lanky uh uh fidgety kind of walk. Um yeah, you can roll a sense motive.
Ooh,
Um you get a
I got
sense
it.
that they're you got a strange sense that they might be following you uh, for
Okay,
whatever reason. But you don't
gotcha.
that's as much as you can sense. You don't know if it's because they might be
Mm.
trying to rob you or
Can
they're
I
curious about you or if they
can
just happen
can I
to be
use
going the same way, but it's definitely they're definitely tracing your path.
can I use feints to give him a slip and try and get like can I duck off in the shadows and try and get behind him with a feint? Like,
Yeah. So you dive over to a near to an alley that was coming up, um, moving out of line of sight. I'd say roll a stealth. Oh, like a fucking like a vampire in the night. You just you
see ya.
like you like you you glide like oil like into like the next alley like and within there you find a you duck into you know your character's not sure if like maybe they have whoever's following you might have dark vision so the shadows might not entirely help but
Right.
you find like a couple of barrels that you like quickly like kind of like hunker down and squeeze up
Hmm.
against the wall and you hunker down behind the barrels that about like that was like 10 feet down the alley and you hide behind
Gotcha.
there. Um the uh the humanoid figure that it like you hear it stop and like turn towards where you went, but it doesn't move from its spot. It's like eerily silent.
Hmm. Um,
And then after a few moments it moves again, but away from you.
like it walks off,
Yeah,
or
like it walks off.
um, can I stealth back out and see if I can get? Can I track him now?
Yeah,
Stealthily or some Assassin's Creed type shit?
yeah.
Uh, so you see Lucia start. Lucia pop out. Let's see if I get this right. And I'll roll stealth again, and I'll track him and follow him. Start to follow him. Can I
You
make
follow
anything
him.
out on him other than can I see any noticeable like emblems or
No, you don't make anything out other than like it
he's
sounds like
wearing medium armor? Or,
it's I mean it sounds like what they're wearing is armor, um very noisy armor for some reason. Definitely a lot of grinding of metal. Um but you tail it, and it doesn't seem to
Okay.
notice that you've tailed it at all, and just continues on its way, and it makes its way to a actually no, wait, I got the thing over here, don't I? It makes its way to an inn known as it makes its way to Daggerford Inn, which is located in the yeah, you were here, and then you track it you track it here as it goes up as it goes to yeah, goes to the inn and walks inside.
Oh, I will stealth.
20 is serious.
And I would use stealth to kind of, can I follow him? Can I see what room he goes in, or can I wait around to see if somebody comes to join him? I'll wait around to see if somebody comes to join him in whatever room he's
Yeah, you can wait around. You go
in.
into Daggerford Inn is hold on one sec. Where's my shit? To ebook. Okay, realms north. Okay, there it is. It's Daggerford Inn is known to be a down and dirty place.
And
Um,
then
down and dirty place to get a guaranteed restful night's sleep. The walls are thick and covered with tapestries and wall rugs to blanket and absorb sounds. Each room is known to have like a small pot-bellied stove with a quarter cord of wood and a bucket of coal, um, which kind of gives the place its dirty and oily look. It's owned by the Demetria Landscraper. It's a female dwarf, shield dwarf, um, who is fabled to have dug a 1,000-foot path through solid rock in less than 1 year with her fingernails and bare hands, as the story goes. Um, but yeah, that's the inn, the Daggerford Inn, and so you wait around outside to see if like, as you say, I don't know how long you wait, but like you don't see anybody like follow inside after whoever that was, and you don't really see them come back out.
Hmm. Oh. So it's just, he's just in there.
It was, yeah, in there, went up to their room, whoever it was.
All right, guess what? We're gonna have some fun. Lucia's gonna. Can I use that stealth roll to sneak into his room?
How do you want to? Well, you got to know what room it
I would
is.
like to break. Oh, I guess I didn't follow. I didn't follow him up, or just kind of.
Well, I thought you said you waited outside. Like you meant outside the building or
I'm.
outside? Or you?
I, I've been like outside, like I guess like in the tavern area. I don't know if
Oh,
it's that kind of
the
area.
common room area.
Yeah,
Yeah,
yeah.
he's on the second floor, so he had gone upstairs.
Okay. Um. Can I? All right. Can I talk to a clerk, or like a?
And like each foot on that he takes up on or he or she or it, whatever that goes onto the stairs is like very heavy, like
Hmm,
like
abnormally heavy?
yeah, like iron hitting on the freaking stair, like an
Hmm.
iron hammer was like hammering on the stairs. Boom, boom, boom.
God. I'm gonna go to the. Can I go to like the owner? I guess the check-in lady.
Yeah,
Lucia's gonna lean over to the counter and start flirting a little bit, and be like, "Excuse me, um, the guy, the guy with the black cloak that just went up here. Do you know him?"
Oh, that one. Yeah, don't know too much. Just keeps himself well, keeps themselves well cloaked. Hmm. Follows this human lady around. She's got bronze skin, reddish hair. She's got a lot of tools and equipment on her. I believe she's some sort of artisan.
Mm.
I believe she's and she turns and calls in the back room. She calls out, hey, who was that? To like another of the staff. She goes, who was that? Remember that lady? Going back and forth, and they're like, and you could hear the guy in the back, sounds like a young teenager. He's like, yeah, that's the one that, excuse me, yeah, that's the one who, I think she's a Gondsman. She worships Gond.
Mm.
Oh shit.
Lucia, Lucia's eyes light up. He's like, he curses under his breath. He's like, "Fuck," and he says, "Thank you very much." And he slides like a silver piece on the counter and says, "Don't tell him I was here." And walks out the.
He's like, let me let me get out of
Let me get the fuck out of here.
here.
Oh shit.
Yeah.
So I'm not ready for that.
Yeah, Lucian's got a sense that she's no fool, and whoever she sent, she wasn't, she didn't seem concerned of it being I guess caught by you.
Mm.
Otherwise, obviously they would have sent somebody stealthier.
Hmm.
Um,
Um.
so
Yeah. I mean.
it almost it almost feels like it actually feels like like a message of a sort. A
Damn.
message
I
that
don't like
didn't
messages.
that a message that followed through whether there was an encounter or not, but it followed through
Mm.
nonetheless.
A low key threat, son.
Mm. Lucius, Lucius steps outside the tavern. He's still looking around. He's like, what the fuck do I do? He's like, the Gonsmen are here again. He's like, should I take care of this now? And he looks at the faceless one's mask in his pocket, and he's like, if I just get this shit out the way now, they won't come back. No, I can't do that. I can't. I'm just gonna cause more fucking trouble. They know they said they're here to look for me. How do I kill them and not? I can't do it with the gun. It's like fucking can't do it with a sword either. And Lucius having like this inner monologue. He's just looking at the mask and he's looking at his gun and he's debating on going up there and because Lucian doesn't like threats either, and Lucian tends to like want to eliminate a threat before it becomes more than a threat. Uh, but he's like, nah, I can't do this now, and he stuffs the mask back in his jacket and uh, walks off. Can I? I guess I have the lady. I have the lady's name, right?
Yeah,
Or
I think I remember her. did introduce
She
herself.
that's the one. That's the lady. Yeah,
I don't
that's the
know
lady
if you
that
wrote the
talked to me,
name
right?
down.
I did.
Shoot,
I
I
don't.
forgot the name. I gotta
Hold on.
grab it.
I'm pretty sure I did. I'm
It was
pretty.
in
It's
a,
in one of
and it
these
was
books.
and she had I remember she had said it 'cause
Yeah.
when I was
Yeah.
watching the video of the session I was like
And she told me
I
to.
think
She
she
told me to
said it.
chill out. Yeah. Yeah.
All right.
All right. Lucian's like, all right.
Hmm.
Um. And I guess I gotta. Is that lady around at all? Do I know? Have I seen? Is she's still around? I guess she is, right? She's around here somewhere.
You hadn't seen her in
I
a
don't know.
while, but um
Right.
apparently she's back.
I mean, well, I also been in the cave for months, so
It's for a month.
we, we also been in the cars for weeks. So all right, yeah. I guess that Lucian realizes that he's in a little bit of a fucking situation, and they're out there sending messages. So message has been received. Was there more, or should I like?
No, I mean the character goes back and for the remaining of the
Actually,
downtime he's been looking over his shoulder now and then, but there hasn't seemed to have been any more encounters like
mm,
that
hmm
over the
can I
days and
do
the night.
can I do some research about two things real quick? Can I try and find out where this girl lives? The Gonsman,
Oh wow.
like where
Yeah,
she
you can
stays
have
at,
she's
and
staying she's staying at that inn, the Daggerford Inn.
mhm. Oh, okay.
So
Can I
yeah.
get the room number and everything?
So
I
she's
want the whole.
he's like, I want the room number. You
I
better
want
you
everything.
roll a diplomacy to get that one. Or was that it?
Gotcha,
Yeah, roll
gotcha,
diplomacy, see
gotcha.
what
I gotcha, gotcha. Come on, diplomacy.
yeah.
Hey,
Put on his charms.
Mm,
He's got enough information. He's got enough information to keep to track her down when he needs to
that
later
yeah,
man
on.
a whammy, son.
yeah. I want all the information to track her down when I need to.
Yeah.
Um, man, I I guess that's it. Can I tell guess at some point I gotta tell somebody. I gotta tell
Right.
somebody. I tell
Um.
somebody I'm hot.
So we go
I'll
to
probably talk to Superiors first.
Raw.
Yeah.
Rothscar. Is he there?
Hmm.
Oh, there you are. There you are. Roth. It's the night making your rounds. Um, making your rounds around the Daggerford Cemetery. Although you start to near the edge of the cemetery as you ponder whether you should check out the other grave sites located throughout Daggerford. That's not necessarily like near the town. You're like you're aware of there are several hamlet and Thorpe, you know, outside the walls. Um, within some 1 to 4 to 5 hours, depending on which Thorpe or hamlet you decide to go to. That has they've got their grave uh areas. Um, and you it's what season is it? It's a warm night as the summer rolls on by, and there's a slight wind in the air as you traveling about. You in Mockjaw, um, keep sniffing around, you know, every now and then on alert. um, And then Rourke catches a uh he's going down as he's going down a trail, he sees near some gravestones, he sees like the figure of an elderly woman, but she's out pretty late. It's like already close to freaking it's already past moon dark. And she's just like standing there by some graves.
It's the Banshee run.
Um, who's gonna detect evil?
You go to detect evil. There is none.
Detect good.
There is none.
Chaos.
There is none.
Law.
There is no aura of law. I made that sound mad creepy for no reason. You detect no auras of any kind.
What
Um,
level am I?
as if either her aura is hidden or it's perfectly balanced. It's
What
either
level
of
am
the
I?
two. At this moment, um, 4.
Detect magic.
All right, so you go to do detect magic.
Lewis, bro, like stop trying to play me, son. I'm a fucking walking.
You go to do detect magic and nothing.
Yep, yep, yep. How long am I concentrating?
Oh, you've
You
been
telling me the
concentrating
whole
there
time,
for a while, for
and she's still
like a
just sitting
minute,
there at
and
the.
she's still just standing there. And then as you realize there's no alignment aura, there's no magic aura of any kind, she slowly turns around. And you can see um she's got this stark white hair that trails down over her face and her shoulders and look like a little hunched and squat. About maybe actually um like if you like 2 feet shorter than you from the looks of it. She turns and then she raises her head up slowly and you can see her facial features. While mostly human, she's got some a pronounced like canines over her lip, flat uh flat face and a slightly orcish nose. Appears to be an elderly half-orc woman.
You said I'm level 4 though, right?
Yeah.
This is after we took care of the whole treasure pool and everything.
I'd say yeah, it's in the process of that. Why? Like, wait, I can. Um, she just appears very quiet and looks somber, and it's as if her eyes are. Oh, that's what you were hoping. Um, yeah, we'll say it's after the time that he met with Mifnor, and yeah, he did have that as a tool for him to get those the Death Watch
That's
goggles, I think they are,
hilarious.
or the Death Watch goggles or spectacles, one of the two. This guy had this shit ready. Um, it's like, is she undead? Is she any of this? What is she?
That's hilarious.
Surprisingly, they reveal nothing.
Okay. Oh.
No, that's good. That's
Well,
information.
yeah, that's good. Yeah, it's information. But
That's information. So since this was probably on my face from the jump, um, and she didn't detect as undead, he would have been like, he would have stood quietly. He would have had Mothra stand back for a second, not to spook him, as he approached a relatively, let's say, about 10 feet away from her, as he would quietly stand there. And when she turns towards him, um, he would say, someone that you knew?
Completely silent, and
In Orcish.
she starts to she doesn't it doesn't she doesn't react to the question. She just that blank stare, and as if her eyes are like piercing into your soul. It feels like, and she she turns and she and it's near the edge of the eastern exit of the Daggerford graveyard, and she just like she lifts a hand and she points like outside the gate, like towards the gate, and then she looks back at you, stares for a while, and then like she looks back towards the gate, lowers her arm, and walks to the exit.
Um, Roth will follow, and he would signal Mothra to follow.
You follow her, and every so often she would look back and like raise her hand again to point, and then she would turn back and she would like go in the direction that she was pointing, and you easily get the sense that like she wants you to follow, which is like follow her, continue to follow her, I should say, in the
Isn't
direction that
there a
she's
spell
pointing.
like this? Isn't there a spell that does this?
I think you're thinking of guiding hand. You
Yeah,
might be
maybe it is
thinking of
guiding
that,
hand. Something that
but it's
continues
just
to.
a hand.
It's a
Yeah,
mystical
it's a
hand though,
hand.
right? Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's a
That
hand.
gestures you where to go. Oh, okay, okay.
Yeah, it
So
just keeps
now
like
it's
gesturing where to go there. Um,
okay.
uh, well, no, because if it was a spell effect, he would have detected magic out of it.
With
He
magic, right?
detected nothing.
Okay,
Nothing. There's nothing. Maybe,
okay.
maybe it's all in his head.
Maybe.
Oh shit, no, maybe it's a dream. Oh shit, you're like, what the fuck is going on? All right, so you you follow her and you realize she's walking in the direction. I'm like, you're out, like Daggerford, the walls of Daggerford is like way in the distance. But you're walking towards a nearby hamlet. The name of the hamlet is True Dog.
Um,
True Dog.
Halfway through that
Oh,
walk,
no.
he would have started casting Eyes of the Evil
Okay.
and increased his perception, his awareness
All right. Yes. Your eyes
with
sharpen magically
with
as you.
the um the animal focus on both
Thinking, what
him
I'm
and
thinking,
Mothra, of
the eagle,
course.
I think. What?
Yeah, eagle, of
Yeah, I
course,
think it was.
and or falcon, I think, and then
I think it was Falcon.
and then he would change the daily teamwork feat to look out.
Okay.
Okay.
Eventually, as you get closer to the hamlet, she doesn't go straight towards the settlement. It goes towards where it's gravesite is located. And she gets to a small hill. I mean, you can see several markers and a few statues here or there. You don't see anything extravagant or like elegant or rich like they like they have in the Daggerford Cemetery where they that cemetery would have has more like nobility and um people from the city that are buried there. So
Hmm.
this gravesite's like more humble in that aspect. Um,
Hmm.
and she goes to a small hill where there's two grave markers. You can make out two grave markers near each other, about 100 feet away. And she's walking towards it, and then about 50 feet away from it, she stops and she looks at you and she points to the grave markers. And as she does that, she like vanishes.
Um, Roth would then become more. He probably would have. So when she vanishes for a minute, he goes, hmm. And then he goes to take a closer look at the grave markers.
You make your way up this the small hill. You start to go up the slope. You get closer to the grave markers. You can see written in the Thoris alphabet two names on each, a name on each. Bargrin and Annalise. And Moktra is sniffing around, looking about. Um, uh, and then she like kind of paused at the ground where Annalise's grave marker is located, and you look and you notice easily that the ground is has been disturbed
Recently dug up.
recently. And just as you was
Mm,
like, inspecting it, getting ready to go into survival tracking mode, pretty much.
right.
Um, from hold on, let me look up here. What are they called? They're called Death Watch goggles. Got the name.
Hmm.
Okay,
Death Watch eyes.
Death Watch eyes. Okay, that's what it's called. Alright, Um, line of effect would would block that. Okay. So as as you're inspecting the ground area, suddenly from beneath the ground, rising up instantly, and your Death Watch goggles, you know, does a quick flare as the magic activates, and there's an incorporeal spirit that appears before you. A
Mm,
ghostly skeletal figure rising up amid a swirling cyclone of of the debris in the area of like several rocks, and you see the grass near around starting to shred up into it's like flying about, and you see these rocks and pebbles just,
mm,
circling around. Um, you can roll
mm.
a knowledge religion. A skeletal ghost-like humanoid, female
It's a
humanoid,
30.
is a 30. What you have before you is, is there any more information? Let me make sure I get all the information with that fucking 30. Da, 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 da. Oh, there it is. That's freaky looking. Okay, I got. Should, do I have a picture? No, I didn't have a picture. I'll show a picture. What's up? Um, you judging from its appearance, the location, the various objects flying around, um, and in fact, even its own grave marker is like it comes out the ground and it's like floating around in the air. Um, before he was a poltergeist, it's an angry spirit that typically forms from the soul of a creature that, for whatever reason, becomes unable to leave the site of its death. Sometimes this might be due to an unfinished task, other times it might be due to a powerful necromantic effect. Um, Desecrating a gravesite by building a structure over the body below is the most common method of accidentally creating a poltergeist. Um, the poltergeist, they experience great trauma over its condition. Um, and this trauma twists its psyche to evil and fosters an overall hatred of the living, expressed in outbursts of rage. They are bound to a specific place, usually building, room, or a recognizable area, and in this case, here at the gravesite. The gravesite that's someone's disturbed. um,
Mm.
they incorporeal, obviously. They're naturally invisible, and in this case, it's decided to show itself, but it can go invisible, um, making it hard to locate. Um, it has the ability to, as it drops its invisibility, in revealing its form, uh, it can
Mm.
frighten. It can frighten creatures within 30 feet of it. In fact, you and Mockjaw roll a save, a will save. But the other thing is it's sight bound. It cannot travel more than 120 feet from this spot. And he knows that they do not have a method of attacking other from using their telekinesis. So they'll use their telekinesis to like hurl objects at their enemies. Um, Finally, Roth is aware that Poltergeist, even if he did destroy its form right now, it's only going to be destroyed for anywhere between 2 to 8 days, after which it's just going to reform again. And the only way to permanently get rid of the Poltergeist is to determine the reason for its existence and set right whatever is preventing it from resting in peace, which varies with each spirit and some
Mm.
research. Although right before she appeared, he did find a good lead on tracking because it was very recent,
Right.
within probably several hours ago. Um, he found a lead to where those track to whoever disturbed the grave where he can track them down. Um,
Hmm.
but roll will save. Oh, you did. Okay. You and
Probably failed
Mockjaw,
it.
yeah, you and Mockjaw run in fear. Oh, total fear. It's succumb to the fear of the poltergeist, the supernatural, the undead fear, and you both flee at top speed away from her. Thing is that you both have fled um enough for her to obviously not be able to reach you anymore. It's
Hmm.
past 120 feet. And as you like as the two of you get about 150 feet away, and you look over, it's not there anymore. Obviously
Mm.
she either sunk back into the ground. She just went fully invisible. but the two of you, you catch your breath. Marsha's like whimpers a bit, but it's like panting really, really hard.
Hmm.
Um, and like you're catching your breath and your nerves are calm. Take a deep breath.
Mm. Martha's like, poltergeists. Haven't seen one of those. This is the first time seeing one of those in person. In person. Hmm. Might not be able to leave that grave. That's why that old woman led us there. While he's trying to like calm down Mockjaw and gather himself. Still got the adrenaline like rushing through his body, and he goes, checks his tools real quick to see if he has anything that he could use. I think the ghost bane oil can actually be used here.
Um, I say, you also spot he notices the tracks as well.
Oh, there's more tracks too.
Yeah, yeah, he can spot the tracks that he was originally like ready to
Looking for right. Hmm.
track down back up at the top of the hill, but like he could see like from where him and Mockjaw had ran, um
Hmm.
he could see the remnants of those tracks still.
Okay, let's check out those. Let's. You know what? Let's. I could either kill it or I could deal with the people who disturbed it or find out more information about the people who might have disturbed it. So I think he'll go investigate that before he tries to just slay it. Yeah, you're right. I thought I was too far away from the tracks.
He found them again. Um, so you start to follow the tracks. They weren't difficult for him to follow for him and his skill to follow at all. And
Hmm.
it actually starts to lead towards the hamlet of True Dog. And as you
Dog.
get closer, um, you see from around like a bend in the trail. Well, no, not even a bend. I would say from a small cornfield, um, coming around a trail at the corner of the field. Um, there's a group. They're wielding. There's a few of them that have lanterns. And you look and you notice that you recognize the group as like a patrol. You
Hmm.
see two human females and a halfling male. Um, and they each of them has a dog. Each of them has a dog, and they you can hear one of them go, let's check down over here, make sure that's all clear. And you recognize that they're at first, it could be anything. They could be bandits wandering around at night. It could be, but from the looks of it, Rolf is aware. He's been around in the area long enough to know that there'll be nightly patrols at the different places. They'll have it's either provided by Daggerford or even some people in the community of the hamlets of the Thorpes nearby. They'll have people exploring around at night, make sure things are safe, make sure there's no like enemies trying to attack, in the middle of the night, and so
Yeah.
um the dogs, they get a sniff. One of them, as they catch, pretty much like you and Mockdra's scent, and you see the lanterns like kind of like swivel over towards your area, and some low light in your on you and Mockjaw, and they're like, well, you hear the halfling. He's like, "Oh, who are you?"
Mm. Are these patrols from Daggerford?
You don't recognize them from Daggerford. In fact,
I don't recognize anything.
they look like they look like they could be residents of the hamlet nearby.
Oh, the hamlet nearby.
Yeah, of Trudeau.
Um, because I'm Rothscar Grimhowl. Uh, of Daggerford. Who of you are the leader of your band
Halfling
or
steps
your
forward.
troop?
He's like, that would be me.
You.
Hell,
Are you aware? Are are you the ones going around disturbing grave sites?
absolutely. In fact, we would not want that at all. That would be terrible and sacrilegious. And then they come closer, and they obviously they don't got dark vision, so they're like trying to like get a better look at you. You can see them just fine.
Mhm.
And they're I'm assuming he has something on his attire that like displays his faith, or does he keep that hidden? Like,
No, that's not hidden at all.
okay,
See the giant scales either
right,
on the back of
yeah,
his cloak or on his breastplate or on his not on his breastplate. He hasn't got that money yet, but he has like
like a holy symbol,
an iron holy
iron.
symbol like
Okay, the cold iron holy symbol or iron, yeah. They're like, are you? Oh, oh, and then the human women, they're like, oh, we're in luck. It's a Kalemverate. And then the other woman's like, oh, I've heard the name Roscar. He does the patrols at night as well, but he patrols the graves. And the halfling's like, oh, you're that Roscar then. He's
is
like,
Mockjaw reacting to the ascent?
yeah, yeah. She doesn't seem like she's next to you, but she doesn't seem like frightened or anything. She's just following, calm, following your commands. But she catches,
But but
she.
but when the tracks led up to them, it was
Oh,
like
yeah.
it
When the
was like
tracks led up to them, she
like it
doesn't like
wasn't like it wasn't like
yeah, she doesn't give any signal that it was any of them that it leads to. Like she sniffs around them, but like she doesn't give the signal that like here's the
oh
scent.
okay
Yeah. Yeah,
that's why I
okay.
was accusing them. Okay, so if that's not the case, then all right, he just asked this question then, and they were like no. All right, so when they try to get a better look to him, he steps forward, steps in their light so that they can see his face, and then he goes would you know anything about the grave just a couple of feet back there of Annalise. I don't know what the last name was.
Oh, it's just Annalise. Um, so they all nod. They're like, yeah, Annalise. She had just passed away recently from an illness, and uh, one of the human women are like, yeah, she left behind her bumbling son Meldon, and they go, they ask why. They're like, has something occurred at the gravesite?
Oh, nothing at all. Just a poltergeist has just risen out of its grave.
They look between each other um, they're like, oh, the guys. There's a There's a spirit at her grave?
There's a very angry and powerful spirit.
The halfling shakes his head and he's like, God damn, don't. Was it just her grave that was disturbed? Or was it also her husband's, Bargren's?
I've only noticed the disturbance at her grave.
He looks at the two women. He's like, "It's Meldon. It's gotta be Meldon. I knew it." He looks back to Roscoe. He's like,
What does Meldon have to do with it?
"I'm sure he's the culprit." Meldon got quite some problems. One of them being a gambling problem. He's always been a good-for-nothing son to his parents, who tried their best. He was buried. A valuable pendant.
Meldon? Meldon?
No, he said she was buried. Annalise was buried.
Hmm.
It was a valuable
You
pendant
say he
that she always wore. And I would bet you
Hmm.
he dug up his own mother's grave to get that pendant.
Hmm.
We'll take you to where he lives.
Show me.
And so they take you into the hamlet of True Dog. It's obviously very quiet. People are trying to rest, and they take you to a small small cottage, and they knock loudly on the door. Bah, 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 bah. Meldon, get your arse out here now. You've got a visitor. The door opens, and you see Meldon. See this haggard looking. You can't even tell for sure what age he might be. 'Cause he looks older than he probably should. Haggard, unkempt beard and shriveled up hair, and you could tell that he was just drinking as he got holding the bottle up. And he looks outside and he's like, "The hell? What are you all doing here? I just lost my mother, and now you're coming banging on my door in the middle of the. Who the hell is this?" And he looks at Raw.
Rock, can I take a like a cursory look at his hands and see if he
Oh,
and his hands and feet?
they look dirty. Yeah, you can see dirt all over him. Like he just dug up the thing, took the pendant, and freaking went back home. Didn't bother cleaning up yet.
Roth puts two and two together and he goes, grave robbing. It's a serious crime, Meldon.
Hey, who's out there grave robbing? I don't know anything about that.
Um,
You Telemvirate. Go do something about it. Leave me alone.
Oh shit.
um, Roth turns to the gentleman that led him here and he goes, he goes, this gentleman is clearly under arrest. Maybe you should call your guards to bring him in. Search him for the pendant, his mother's pendant.
Hey, no, you ain't getting in here. And he closes his door. You hear
Before
it?
he does that,
You
King
feel
was
before
it.
all
he,
a
as
witness.
he tries to close the door, Roth will put his arm out to like stop it right before it closes, and he's almost certain like he's able to keep it like open with this strength score. I'm sure it's like he's not. I just know this guy's stronger than Roth, and he's gonna just go, Meldon, stop making this difficult.
How do you go about convincing him? Intimidate,
Um,
diplomacy.
he goes, I mean, I would intimidate him.
You would?
Roll that
All right.
intimidation.
I would intimidate him. It seems unfair, sad. I feel like I'm bullying him almost. It almost seems unfair.
That's what you
Um,
do. I do.
but
Plus
that's
10.
yeah, but I feel
Yeah,
like
they listen, you
that's
don't
what
give a fuck about them feelings.
so he goes, as he's like struggling with Roth back and forth with the door. I'm sure he's still trying to close the door on Roth. He goes,
Yeah, he is. He's like,
he goes, he goes, eventually he grabs the handle to the door and he just opens it completely, like just like overpowers him. Just opens the door like and grabs this guy by his collar and just pulls him outside and goes, "You're coming with me, Meldon." And he pulls out the shackles that he has, the manacles that he has, and he tries to put them on his wrists.
Yeah, son.
with the
Try to give you the
calm,
Jehovah's Witness
with
treatment.
the
Like,
with
no.
the with the scarily calm and intimidating presence of Roth as he sets about his actions. Um, yeah, it was definitely enough to cause him to break down. Roth was just too overwhelming for him.
There's, I really doubt I'm fighting with this dude. It's really that it's either
Well,
you're
not fighting.
listening or
It's like a yeah. It's
yeah.
like your presence. You're
I feel like I'm
intimidated.
skipping this dude.
Even your take 10 intimidate. Um
Right. I
uh so he with ease you know psychologically break him down. He like falls to his knees. He starts to fall, fall and he's
Roth
like,
crouches down and looks at him and he says, I hear you have a gambling problem.
I'm worthless. I don't I don't even deserve to live.
Yeah.
They're both gone. I've done nothing with my life. He's just like crying his eyes
I
out.
under
He's just like,
I understand. But you could take the first step to doing something worthy and answering to your crimes, answering to your debts, finding the courage to make something of yourself, as opposed to doing the same things that have led you down this path to even defile the graves of your very parents who probably have loved you until they met their end.
just falling harder. And he's like, yes, yes, they did. Oh, mother, I'm sorry. I'm sorry. Reaches into like
Where is it?
he reaches into a sash around his waist and he like pulls the pendant out and drops it like defeated. And
Roth grabs it
the halfling and the
and
two
he
women are like, all right, Meldon, You heard him. Or
Roth will put his hands on his shoulder and go,
Crazy son.
"You did the right thing, Milton. Trust and believe that tomorrow will be the will be the uh will be the beginning of the rest of your life. A life that you decide to make something worth telling, worth a life worth living. For now, um, yeah, think on that for now." And then he turns to the militia. I don't know what these people that were on patrol, these patrolmen. He'll tell them that I'm going to leave him in your hands. I'll come back for the manacles after I take care of after I finish putting putting those bodies to rest. Um,
like, all right. He's like, we'll take care of Milton, and they hand you the pendant. They're like, we understand. This is what the Clemberites do. And the halfling hands you the pendant because, as if to say, go put the spirit to rest. Like,
yeah.
yeah,
Roth then, well, but right before Roth is about to leave, he turns back around. And he says, he goes, "Oh, one more thing. Where is your shovel?"
he like points over to like a nearby like small tool, very small like tool shed.
Mhm. And he'll grab that and he'll and smile and go, "I'll return this as soon as I'm done." And then he goes, he'll start heading back off. He'll start heading off back towards that grave.
Go back to that grave, and as you make your way up, um, again you see the swirling, the objects, the telekinesis, and you hold up the pendant, and it all stops. And then you feel the pendant. You feel a magical effect, but not on you, but on the pendant.
Mhm.
And I assume he lets it go, because he knows that he knows he can sense that the reason for it is he's trying to telekinetically pick the pendant.
Mhm. Mhm.
So as you let go, it flies
He'll
from
let
your
it go.
hand
Yeah, he'll let it go.
and
Yeah.
flies from your hand, and it goes towards where her gravesite is, and then that's when she appears. And she goes out of her natural invisibility, and like the pendant is like goes into her ghostly hands. Mhm.
Mm.
Even though she can't physically clutch it, she makes the motions as if she is, and her like skeletal ghostly face, like even though you can't see an expression, you can sense an expression of relief, and like you hear it speak like, ah, a gift from my beloved, and like she looks over to the grave next to her, and she's like, always carried it, symbol of our love. And she like starts to sink back into her grave
Mm.
with the pendant, and as she sinks back down, the pendant like you know um is on top of like the disturbed earth, and it just lays there.
Mhm.
And right now you've got your shovel because you're ready to like make sure that gets buried right back where
Gets
it
put
goes.
back
So
where it needs to be, right?
you set to work Over time, you get the pendant back with the corpse underneath and start to dig.
Say a prayer.
Yeah, you say your kalimba, yeah, your prayer. Dig the grave back up, make it look nice and neat, patting it down,
Mm-hmm.
get it all
Yeah.
perfect looking.
Put the markers back.
Walker's back,
Mm-hmm.
and as you do that, fading into existence.
Even Mockjo is helping dig.
It's like,
Yo, Watson, check your IG.
All right, man.
and as you complete the task, the half-orc elderly woman suddenly, like, you look over to your left and wasn't there before at all. All of a sudden, she's there,
Mm.
and she starts to like, she stands there.
Oh shit.
The elderly half-orc woman stands there under the moonlight with her small, pronounced canines, flat face, slightly olive-hued skin, and red-colored eyes that betray her mixed heritage, appearing venerable in age. Yet when she moved earlier, you notice as if she moved in a way as if she wasn't really hindered by her physique. She wears white robes, white enough to appear as if they're glowing, with silvery trimming and an intricate woven pattern on the back of the robe, as if they looked like looked like moth wings, the way the pattern was kind of stitched or
Okay.
and there's always been an extremely difficult for Roth to like draw his attention away from her for some reason, as if her presence felt otherworldly. And her expression remained emotionless, but it was calmingly serene. Her white hair seemingly reflecting the moonlight itself, giving the hair a ghostly glow. Now she speaks,
Mm.
and she speaks, at least to you, which sounds like orc. Well, whatever language he's like, well, which is probably orc that he was native,
Definitely work.
like naturally, like spoke first, as
Right.
like a native tongue. Um, you performed admirably, Rostar Grimhow, son of Ulgrin Grimhow and Trilia Ghostgar, brother of the late Ulfric and Dogrel. Which threw you off, Ross, because he just recited your entire family bloodline from the tribe that you left. But you don't remember anything about this half-orc woman.
Mm.
Um,
Roth says,
and then as you're about to speak,
okay.
you're like, and like her form changes. Starts to
Uh-huh.
like there's a flash of white all around her form, and it starts to like change into a figure that practically just takes your breath away. And you also feel like this being that you see before you was one of like the many beings that you barely recall seeing during the times that you teetered at death's door. Before you is a moth-winged woman wearing a spiral mask and a white silken gown glimmering with tiny bronze mirrors. A magnificently elegant longboat flung over her shoulder, and a very long, silvery white shawl is wrapped around her head, seemingly alive as it billows and undulates as if from a very strong wind was blowing on it.
Hmm.
You feel an almost unbearable pressure from her presence. Your attention and focus on her is abnormally fixated. This being feels both alien and familiar all at once. For some reason, you can hear ever so extremely faintly around you the sound of a crying infant.
Hmm.
Or is it just in your mind? The wailing dies out, only to be replaced by a familiar laughter, like that of a child, and then an all too familiar sense of anger and fear. The
A
kind
lot
of
of
anger,
emotions.
the
Goddamn.
anger of fear that you haven't felt since your youth. And then there was these memories that bubbled of your coming of age, your early adult years, and all the way up to the present. This happened within moments, just upon looking at this being before you.
So my whole timeline. Interesting.
Um, I'm going to, yeah, I need to open a new window.
That'll be
I'm
some
gonna,
significance there.
well, I should have uploaded this, and I did not.
You have a picture?
Yeah, that's what I'm getting right now. Thought I
Okay.
had it. I thought I had it uploaded in here. No, why is that so small? No. Open everything. Okay. This is getting me angry. It's giving me like a small ass picture when I'm trying to fucking.
That's annoying.
I want to get a big one.
Big one.
Right. All right. I'm gonna just copy the image link. I'm gonna put it here. It always does that. Maybe if I copy image, will it put the image? No. I'll have to put it up in WhatsApp. What was I gonna say? Oh, then you hear its voice. The voice sounding as if it's from the grave itself, but at the same time, as if from ages, ages past that you can't even comprehend with your mortal mind.
Mm.
You seek to understand what I am. There are many names we go by, on countless worlds beyond here. We once had a presence here millennia ago, a presence very few know and to which history and religion rarely speak of in clear account. We are the psychopumps, ushers of the afterlife. It has always been our purpose to guide the souls of the dead to their destinations.
Mm.
There are many of us with various roles. And she goes, you are aware of the statues of the angelic figures that overlook the gravestones. Many mistake those statues as angels. And indeed, the sculpting over time has been warped to resemble the celestials. But celestials they were not.
Mm.
If you recall the figures that surrounded the hidden lair Mifnor revealed to you, no doubt you noticed a stark difference. And Roth does recall those figures and being curious to their nature. And as if answering his own thought, she goes, those are displays of memetums. The so-called angel
Maminos?
memetums. eh, Memetum.
Mamita.
The so-called angels of death. They protect fallen combatants and others who die as mass casualties from soul-hungry scavengers. Most memetums preside over massacres, and their full wrath manifests against any who would cut numerous lives short in an
Mm.
unnatural pursuit of souls. As for me, I am better known as an Olethro.
Lethos. Lethros.
Our role is how one might be interpreted for your mortal cultures as a sort of matron over the birth, the death, and the cycles among mortal lives.
That's crazy.
We can be heard. Right. Oh, she goes, we can be here for decades going over our history. So I say this: we once secretly served the Lord of the End of Everything, named Jurgle. And before Jurgle, the other deities of death that have come and gone in Toral's history. We aided the needs of other gods beyond Faerun as well, known and given names and stories by the standards of their belief, quiet and working in the background. Over time, we separated ourselves ever further from Toro after Merkel had taken over. We did not agree with his methods and the disrespect over how he handled the afterlife.
Mm.
Theoric was even far worse, but with Pelembor, we see promise. We presented ourselves to the new judge of the dead, and as he became more aware of our existence and our purpose, he very much desires our assistance.
Mm.
First, however, we must see how worthy he and his followers are over time. So we watch silently, and at times we present ourselves to those with promise when it comes to keeping loyalty to their duties with Pelembor. And then with a strange, eerie silence that passes for a few moments, the voice suddenly feels booming, despite how soft the Elethros had carried it. You, Rosgar Grimsau, have caught our attention. And then she begins to utter these cryptic phrases. Drawn to the flame, to another. Uh, oh, my bad. Drawn to the flame, to smother, or to use as a guide. Smiting the death before death, the secret buried deeper than the grave of decay. Triumphance with love, apocalypse with fear. Usher against usher, from both without and within. The guiding hound howls to terrors beyond. Of souls being undone to an age of chaos. When fates intertwine from the past to the present for a better future, the needle and thread passes on. What will you make of it? The extremely cryptic words bored deep into Rolf, for it felt as if she were giving him a strangely worded sense of insight into his future. But pondering over its meaning, it feels a little maddening.
Mm.
And then she goes, where do you see yourself, Rosgar? Where does your path take you? What do you want to do? Is it a satisfying duty you chose to burden yourself with? These are rhetorical, for only you shall find those answers for yourself. We watch you, Rosgar, eager to see how you move forward. Should you prove worthy, we may even invite you, personally be empowered by our essence, to carry in this world as a true usher of the dead, unlike any other. I have foreseen your future, Rosgar, but it is a future filled with uncertainties, with the only common thread involving a great presence that seeks to disrupt the natural order. Carry forth, our assessment judges not just you, but also Kalembor himself to see how he shapes his faithful. And with that, she vanishes. Like you blink and like within that blink, not even there
Right.
anymore. And
Well,
you get the sense of like, are you have you been in the fucking dream this entire time? Like
Damn.
have I been in a
like
genjutsu?
what? I mean, only to find out later that, when the sun rises and the fact that you had a spell on that didn't that kept you awake to begin with. But then you're like, was it maybe the spell? Did someone put me to like? You got these questions, and then, but when the sun rose later, yeah, you were awake. You were not in slumber.
It was not
Mm,
against Jitsu.
It was not a
mm.
genjutsu, right?
Roth has a
Damn.
lot to think about.
Hmm.
He
Hint,
wakes
hint.
up.
I opened up the possibility in case you do decide to prestige class. Like, there you go.
That's what it felt like.
Yeah, that's what it was.
That's what it felt like. It's like, what do you want to do? But here's the door. You know what I mean? It's up to you to walk through it, basically. Yeah. Roth
That's
now
that
is
was dope. That was
damn
dope as
son.
fuck.
That was a good that was a good sneak peek. What can I feel like Roth would take that experience and then he would just that would be something that he'll just be ruminating on for like just every day. Not so much to like, stop him from doing like his daily rituals and whatnot, but it's just something that he'd find himself like dwelling on during like the times of downtime throughout the day, if it even allows. Even while he's probably working, his mind will probably drift there. But probably take it to Kalembo himself in prayer as well. I feel like that's something that would be it's a very personal choice. You know what I mean? Like who you gonna go to and talk to about that? like I feel like that's not like you don't got anyone who can. So Adler,
Oh,
I
and
was
Mockjaw the whole time. Mockjaw was like perfectly still, and in like
unlike
you notice that her behavior was like perfectly still, fully attentive, and like in those guard dog positions that like the
right,
statues of the guard dogs where they're
right,
like at
right,
attention, like a militaristic.
right,
She was just like that, just like a true guardian hound of the dead or some shit.
right.
You're like, what the heck did
What the
she do to
fuck
my
is
what
Mockjaw
the heck she
doing?
do to my dog? What? Like
Even Mockjaw had like a
Mockjaw's
fucking.
like I am ready, right? For real. Like
I'm ready. Mockjaw's ready to serve. That's what you're saying. Okay. Like, dude, sign the paper, man. Sign the forms. What are you waiting for,
um
man? Shit, stop bullshit.
with that,
Uh, Damn.
yeah, Ross got definitely a lot to
With
think
that,
about.
then I guess Roth will now be level 6.
Well, yeah. With that,
That's how he goes into
we
level
go
6?
we go to the
All right, all right.
he said that's how it goes. It's over the downtime period, which is nearing its end. In fact, Luna is excited that she's got a new level of magic that she's attained, on top of the transformation of her familiar, whatever that may be. Um, I guess we'll know next week because Luna, um, she didn't even realize it was nightfall. Had missed, her dinner had gotten cold, in fact, but um, being confident, she's able to weave a higher level form of magic and a new set of spells. Um, he hears Sophelia uh outside outside her window. It's and the first thought is, oh, I guess Sophelia's done, with her bath, uh calling me from outside. But you hear Sophia, and she's calling you outside. She's like, Luna, Luna, quickly, you have to see this.
She puts her stuff down and she heads outside.
You head outside to exit the building, and you see Sophia. She's there in her the way you saw her earlier in the day. Um, and she walks over to the street, and she's like walks out into yeah, she walks out into the street, and she points, and she's like, you gotta see this.
Or Luna is intrigued because if Sophia is intrigued, of course, Luna is intrigued and she eagerly looks in the direction that Sophia is pointing.
So you go over to Sophia, and you look down the street, and you're like trying to see what she's pointing at, and you don't really see much going on down there, except suddenly, like, it gets really misty, foggy, like very quickly. Um, Abnormally quick, in fact. And you're looking around, like, as it gets this obscuring mist all around you. And when you look towards Sophia, like what's going on, all you see is Sophia, like, still pointing, but not speaking or anything, just as if she was frozen.
She like Luna kind of looks at Sophia and she kind of like calls to her. Um, Sophia, what's going on?
Silence.
And Xanthus goes, "Be ready." Okay, and they're like, she like kind of like goes on guard.
You go on guard. Roll a will save.
Oh, shit. Is this
As
level
as level
4?
6. As level 6.
Shit. I will at level 6. Okay.
Oof.
Um, you
Oh, sorry. Add 3 to that.
go 10. Okay. You Okay, I just needed that to check something. So as you're like looking around, you still see Sophia there, it's frozen, like still pointing in that direction. Um, but it was hard to see her, even though she's like right next to you. It was almost very difficult to see her. Sometimes her form gets like blocked over by like the mist and everything. And um, just as you're looking around, um, not too long after Xanthus was like, oh, get ready. Um, you feel cold yet iron-like grip wrap around your throat from behind, and it squeezes and lifts you up into the air, and you can feel the like there's you can feel at the end of it there are these claws that punch into your skin,
Her eyes
and like
immediately go black.
and so you're grappled, and as you're grappled in the grip of this monstrous strength of a being, whoever it is, it actually turns it actually twists its arm down so that it can turn you and have you face it. And um, as you look into the face of someone you believe you recognize. You're not sure, but you feel like as if they were there that night that you were gonna get sacrificed. She's not much older than you. Her hair is black and ragged looking. Her facial features are are you notice that they're youthful, but also it's twisting. The youthful appearance of her face is like twisting into like more of a hag-like features. And even with the you notice in the other hand it's empty. You notice like these claws, and you notice that the forms is twisted and lanky in a manner of like of a hag-like appearance. And
Clearly clawing at whatever's holding her, um, like trying desperately to escape.
yeah, you're trying. It's got a grip. It's got monstrous grip on you. And then like the it gets you into a squeezes you with both. It grabs you with the other. So squeeze you into it gets you into a trying to get you into a pin, be pinned up. And it's like embracing you in this like death grip. Um
She kind of like her breath kind of whispers, but kind of like squeezes out Xanthus's name.
um as you're trying to call out Xantus, you hear this being speak. Yes. Found you, Luna. Yeah, your fault. Very much censored hard. And she's like ready to like squeeze you into a pulp between her claws, and she starts to like getting ready to like tighten, start dealing some damage to you.
Like, who are you? I don't.
Um,
What's
all
going on here?
and then suddenly the mist it disappears. It all disappears, and the Sophelia, at least you believed it was her, but just frozen. It actually starts to fade away. It was never Sophelia to begin.
Patting herself down, like
Um,
taking a big deep breath.
but the but the um but the creature, the monstrous creature before that's holding you, like it looks confused and it's looking around because she didn't do that. He did- um and immediately there's you see you hear spell casting above nearby from a male voice, a deep male voice that you recognize. Oh God. Yeah. And then as you hear the words complete, you see these darts of you see these darts of force head her across her back. Boom. And um she like she winces in pain and cries out slightly. And he she looks up. He looks back at Luna. It's like she tosses her. She lets you go. She tosses her. Like, like you're lucky, Luna. Begins to like then you see like her clawed hands like she begins to cast, and as she finishes casting she she vanishes. I guess you could spellcraft to see what she casted, but
I will do that.
it was a dimension door.
Talking high level.
Dimension door, and then landing down onto the ground near you. It's Delphin Ondelbar. And he's like, Luna, are you okay?
Like really disoriented as Xanthus kind of like crawls towards her. She's like kind of get her bearings, taking a deep breath, looks at Delphin. I think I'm fine.
What was
What
that?
was
Who
that?
was that?
I don't
You
know.
both asked each other at the same time. You're like,
Yeah, I gotta dip out, guys.
that was where I was gonna stop anyway, real quick. So he goes,
They
we're gonna
look
have to.
really
Well,
familiar.
he's like, yeah, we're gonna have to talk about this. Uh, we'll inform Sophia and everybody else, or maybe you should come to stay at my tower if you would like. It's much more secure there.
Hey,
You don't have to, but I can also place wards around your room to make sure that you're safe.
um, yeah. I'll stay with you for tonight.
He actually came by here to speak with Elgita before she retired for the evening. It concerns, in fact, you and the rest of your friends, the Night Watch. I must speak with you all, for I have concluded my research so far. In fact, we've got another lead this time on possible um, Ebon Triad activity. And a friend of mine over near the Lizard Marsh who's got some news on these green worms. But we'll talk about this in the morning. For now, we see to your safety and rest, and you and your friends will gather tomorrow where we'll talk with you all at once.
All right. Yeah, it's that was something. She kind of like nervously laughs, kind of like attempting to like make light of the situation, but it is clear that she's very rattled.
Yeah, very different from the hag in your nightmare. Not the same. Actually, this you can tell was like somebody who's kind of like partial, partially hag looking, as if they were transforming. Um, but yeah, they weren't always a hag. You recognize them from like yeah from that night, like a brief memory. Um, but yeah,
Mm. All
so
right.
next week is definitely the beginning of chapter 3. Gonna need everybody's 6th level sheets completed by then. I think I do have Sophilia's completed and Lucian's and Adler's.
I still need to send you my.
You should have mine too.
Yeah, you sent me Rolf's? Yeah, you did. That's right. I gotta look it over, and
Okay.
then I need Luna's. Do I have Luna's?
Need my spells.
I just have your
I don't
spells.
get a hex this. I don't get a hex 6th level. I get spell gorging.
Do I have your 5th level stuff?
Okay.
I set my 5th level spells.
Later,
You did.
fellas.
You sent your 5th level.
Later, bro.
I just.
GG's.
All right. I
Yeah.
just don't have your I don't have your 6th level stuff. Is that what it was?
Yeah.
Okay. And we still need to figure out. Actually, no, I don't even have all your 5th level stuff. What was your 5th level feat? I don't even think I have that. Where'd you send it? Did you send it in?
What's up?
Was it in the Age of Worms or was it in the
I think it
the
was
pri
Age of
the
Words.
pri
Let me double
or the
check.
private chat? Yeah, it wasn't Age of Worms. All right, I have to get all that down then. Yeah, because there's some stuff on her 5th level sheet that I don't like. I don't have her 5th level feat. I guess I have her skills down. Do I? Actually, I don't even know if I have her skills down. I don't think I did anything with it. I gotta mark. Yeah. Okay. Uh, yeah, there it is. I see your shit there. Okay. Okay, yeah. Now I remember because I was like, yeah, because we were like, just get all your scrolls and you're familiar. I think I
Yeah.
got, yeah, I did all that. I think I did just the spells. I got the spells out the way, and I just needed the rest. Okay, there it is. So I got retrain Cauldron for Protective Luck. Okay, you got extra feet, miss. Oh, extra Cauldron for Protective Luck. You got extra. Is that supposed to be extra hex misfortune? Or was there a feat
Yeah.
called misfortune? Extra hex misfortune.
No, the extra hex.
Okay. And then your 2 free spells, Shadow Mind, Detect Magic, and okay, there's your skills. Scrolls you're looking for. That's what it was. Um, you're a moderate whole person. Identify. I'd say she gets those during the downtime. Um, the cost. I gotta mark off the cost for that. Okay. Yeah, so I'll add those. She finds those spells, and I'll, um, I'll add those to her sheet.
Okay.
Okay. And then, so that'll be the 5th level. So I'm just missing the 6th level. Okay.
Okay. I can send that to you sometime this week.
All right. Doesn't okay, never mind.
Nope, we get no
Never mind.
hex.
I was trying to okay. At 5th level, your familiar takes it. Oh, that okay. That's if you choose to take it. Okay.
I did not decide to take a
Yeah,
familiar at 5th level.
at 5th level.
I'm
So
gonna
you're
wait till
probably.
7th.
Yeah, I was gonna say yeah. You're probably waiting for a higher level form. Okay.
Yeah.
All right. Yeah. Just the 6th then. The 6th, same stuff. Skill points, the 2 free witch spells, and then I think that's
All
yeah.
right. We'll
I
be
think
ready
that's
for
all I
you.
would need for her. All right.
All right, later.
All right. Peace out.